Hello. It's a gloomy day out there today, Dan. Blake. A lot of times people, they think, I'm going to go spend my Saturday at the car dealership. You know, you don't want to be out there when it's all messy and rainy. You don't have to deal with any of that with Fairlease. You can do this from your home. You can do this from your couch, your man cave even. You can hit up fairlease.org and you can start the process of leasing your next vehicle. They'll deliver that vehicle right to your home. Make this as easy as possible. There's a theme with the people we work with here on the Dumb Zone, and it's about making things simple for you so you can just sit at home and watch the WNBA draft. So go to fairlease.org, click Request a Quote, and then the Dumb Zone where it says, how did you hear about us? Right, Blake?
Yes.
It's fairlease.org, baby.
Alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright. I never listen.
Someone said that they think Blake has been upset lately because we don't have him on the artwork promoting us at the Byron Nelson. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like, I didn't even know we had artwork promoting us at the Byron Nelson, but we do. And there's like a picture of us, and there's a picture of Julie and Emily, and there's a picture of
Danny, Soroy, and Cash, but, you know, it's fine.
right.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Happy to be here.
It's an oversight. I'm sorry.
I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kim.
I'm Blake Jones.
Also Blake related.
Well, let's just say this.
Why am I
Let's
on the
just
right
say this.
sheet?
Hold on. Let's just say this. Mama used to say, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease because she was a chirper.
Mm-hmm.
Blake never said, hey, I got to be on there. Other people did.
You're a humble guy.
Yeah, you know me.
You don't need the spotlight.
No, I don't.
Now, they just assumed you and I are on there because, I mean, humble as we may be,
I
that's
need
a
the spotlight.
given.
You guys are the show.
I
Yeah.
have to have the spotlight.
Yeah.
In lieu of money, I prefer the spotlight. Just put me on that thing, and we'll pay everyone else to be there. No, more Blake news.
Why?
I also saw some chatter online about our wonderful appearance on Fox 4's Last Call with Steve Noviello. In fact, I can tell you how wonderful it is. Let me open up the old email. Let's go to the Gmail, and now let's switch over to the business account on the I have so many emails now.
Too many.
Since we started this,
It's the same as we had before.
this is ridiculous.
It's the same. It's just now nobody has to yell at us to change our password. Be positive.
That's true. Look at this guy. You're right. Last night's episode that featured us on Fox 4, Last Call with Steve Noviello, defeated Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon,
Go woke, go broke.
and Stephen Colbert
Wow.
on the backs of us. I don't know what these numbers mean, but apparently the number for Fox 4 and Last Call was higher than those three. So, at least for one night only, you can say you defeated the big boys.
It's because those are shows of the establishment. Those are the shows that Harvey Weinstein and his cohort, they put out there. This is the real deal with Steve Noviello and the Dumb Zone.
But on that show, that's not the chatter that I saw online. That was an email from John Kukla. But on that show, I think what last night's episode was the one where we did the Gay Not Gay, which was demanded by Steve Noviello. We didn't want to do it. I don't think it's right to do it. I'm not ready to get back in those waters. But Steve Noviello said, you have to do it.
Well, Steve was the middle because Dan wanted nothing to do with it, and I wanted to call it F-slur, not F-slur. And Steve was like, what if we meet in the middle?
Yeah. And he's gay. He is legitimately gay. So he says. I mean, I haven't seen him
I mean, I've been hitting on him for 2 months.
going at it or anything. He's never hit on me, so how could he be gay? If you've been around me and
they fall all
managed to
over themselves,
hold yourself back. But that's the episode where I threw out one that wasn't on the run sheet. Was Jake gay because he was upset that he had to learn from his wife, looking at Instagram, that Blake's wife was pregnant. And then I saw internet chatter today that indicated those watching were upset that we dropped that news there and not on this show. Like, what should we do? Like, hey, everybody, big announcements.
And that's ultimately, I think, what I arrived at.
Blake's...
We kind of
not
do
Blake's
have
wife.
to do a gender reveal, though.
Blake's pregnant. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you didn't tell me.
I know.
Oh,
Yep.
congratulations.
Yep. I had sex once. Yep.
That's so great.
Left it in too long, if you know what I'm saying.
That's clearly not what I was expecting, and I didn't want anything on the show, but I would think, even if you just left the show out of it, which we'll get to, that we're friends enough. Like, he's got a kid around the age of my kid. You know, we go back many, many years, sitting there outside the hotel at training camp, smoking a blunt together at 2 a.m. Like, man, I don't know. Is any of this worth it? And he's like, we're going to be great, buddy. And then he's there hugging me after fight night and all this. And then I just find out, like, third party, that he's having a child. And not like 9 months from now. We're not in the, boy, that's weird, you told people phase. Like in the, it's right in front of us and we need to plan for it at work phase. I just think it's weird. And I was hurt. Yeah, and gay.
Hold on. Let me answer the phone real quick. Julie.
Speaker.
Hey, we're doing a broadcast. Like, we broadcast every day at 11:30. Don't you know that?
I do, yeah.
What's up?
Why are you calling now then?
I don't know, because you called me and I'm calling you back.
Okay, well,
Girl math.
yeah, we're live on the air now. We are streaming, in fact. I invite you to go over to YouTube and check us out.
I will.
Like, we work together. You sell advertising for this show, and you know, like, you're telling potential advertisers, hey, they're streaming right now. Here, watch. I'll call them and I'll get on the air.
Heck yeah,
All right.
for sure.
You got any
That
message?
sounds great. I'm
got-
getting my hair done. I'll send you a picture.
Okay. You want to make the curtains match the carpet?
All right,
or what?
anyways, Julie.
Oh, okay,
is
I'll see you, Julie.
Is she on the clock getting her hair done?
Bye.
Dude, you
What are we
don't want to
doing?
know what these salespeople are doing, bro. They're living a whole other life. It's like it is for us on Wednesday every day.
The clock.
Yeah, where you're like, oh, I guess I'll just go do this. Anyways, back to the debate, or maybe it isn't one. I was hurt. I remain hurt. He also has not said anything, if we're going to include the show part of it, about the fact that he's going to possibly be gone for training camp. Feels like that's need to know info.
All right, I'm going to move away from Blake. I have a couple of Jake items.
Okay.
One, tonight we're doing a live stream. We're going to live stream the first round of the NFL draft. We invite you to join us at 7 p.m. Julie, don't call us at that time. We're going to be live streaming. We're going to be on the air. Jake has been named Minister of Pizza.
Oh, okay. That's easy. Easy decision.
Because I was, we were faced with the task of needing food. I didn't want to hit some of the bigger, restaurants and sponsors that we've hit before. I want to save that for Cowboys season. But thought, okay, I might order pizza. I'll just order pizza. And then I thought, these guys won't want me to order pizza.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. From a get the pizza efficiently standpoint, we don't want you anywhere near it. From a show standpoint, Dan versus the Papa Tracker is as great of a draft night battle as you're going to find. Like, that's Jerry versus drafting Shador.
I didn't say you have to go Papa. I mean, I just wanted to give it to him. Like, all decisions.
We'll have great pizza at a great price.
At least the cheapest they can give it to you.
We will have
I
a
can
code.
promise you that.
You will find a code.
Do you still call or just do online?
Usually now, well, I don't know. This is like a whole side rant I have. They actually do it at quite a few of them now. You go to a call center to talk to your local Dommy's, Papa John's, or the Hut. It's an Indian, frankly, right? So I can't haggle with them like I can
They're
some
like,
48-year-old stoner who's just like, yeah, we do have a 3 pizza deal. It's much easier. These people are like, no, it's by the book. So online can usually be your best play. Excited about the draft, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited about tonight's program. We'll have KT, Kevin Turner over. We're going to have John Hampton over.
Are we doing the whole first round?
Until we get tired of it. If we want to bail at 10, we bail at 10. That's the beauty.
Okay.
We know when we're starting.
What if the end of the first round is where Shadur makes sense?
That's the thing. If Shadur hasn't gotten picked, we're probably going to have to just stick through the whole first round.
I'm down to do the whole first round, but our buddy Tim pointed out that the 12th pick last year was at 8:30. And so we're looking at, 11:30 finish almost? No. I'm fine. I'm worried this guy, he might just turn the lights out.
Well, I can just leave and go to bed.
He's going to be balling out, man. He's going to be Lone Star lighted up.
It's true. One other Jake item, and this regards the show today. Because on today's show, Big Thursday mailbag, which includes gummy thoughts. I got something special for you that I want to do right before the break. We have sports as usual. But we also have a guest. Kevin Farley. Which is Chris Farley's brother. He'll be appearing at the Dallas Hyenas this weekend. And I can't really say I have a lot for Kevin Farley, but Jake is like, I got it. I need Kevin Farley on the show. And
yeah.
Do you want to, whet anyone's appetite? Get them excited? Because I tried to have you do it to me off the air today, and
I don't think – if you haven't seen the movie and the show together, which was a fake boy band that he was in, that I think was it was like a cult classic for me. Wasn't this kind of like what the Monkees were?
Are you nodding at that, Josh? You know? No? Oh, okay. The Monkees.
To get her to get – yes, it's like a play on the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. But they made a movie. There was a show. They actually toured. But they were like a fake band. Is that not what the
Spinal
Monkees
Tap?
were? The Spinal Tap didn't actually play.
Oh, so it was a real band.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they did. They opened for Britney Spears.
Okay, so it wasn't a. Spinal Tap, I guess, did end up touring later, but it was just a mockumentary, and the guys in it were somewhat musically talented. So.
Yeah, so they did.
The Monkees was like an actual. The Monkees would be more like One Direction or something.
Well, that's what NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys are. They are
four separate people that
yeah.
that music executives said, I'm going to
or
put
one
you
of them
together.
knew the other one, and then they knew this one. But
Okay.
Blue Pearlman, that's what that documentary is about. He did all of that. This band was kind of a play on that, except they had actual. And the funny thing to me was that in all of the boy bands, they have a guy who's the least attractive guy. That guy is still typically very conventionally attractive. But when they did the parody, their least attractive guy was Kevin Farley.
Okay.
So it was just a funny bit to me.
Okay, now what if...
Now, if he's on for 15 minutes and goes, we go.
Oh, no, I
don't mind.
not expecting it to go longer than that, but what if, in the first minute, he's like, oh, yeah, I don't really remember much about that.
Then we'll probably let him go. Other than that, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's just a grinder.
Okay, I'm just letting you know I have very little for this.
I don't have much.
But at times I've told you, don't worry about it. I got this interview, and then I do. But I'm just making sure that you do, that you really understand how little I have for Kevin Farley.
It just seemed like a fun idea to me.
All right. No, I'm on board. What are we going to do?
Hit us in the chat with your questions
give
for
us some
Kevin
Farley
Farley.
questions.
Yeah, I don't know. He went to the 2008 RNC.
And then I have a way to I wanted to promote Community Mechanical. That's our HVAC company, and bringing it back to Blake here. Did you ever have those guys over your house?
They were there yesterday.
Travis and what's the other guy's name? I know Travis very well. Anyway, he was over my house last week. Little PM. Preventative maintenance. Boy, they showed me. They opened up the air conditioner outside and showed me an incredible mud wall, the mud daubers.
Oh.
They're like, this is why you need to get this looked at every 6 months, and this is why you need us.
To prevent it.
Community Mechanical. Are they communitydfw.com?
They are communitydfw.com.
Anyway, what I wanted to say, though, is I understand how Blake feels now when he's hanging out with us. And by that, I mean, I think even you felt this sensation. Travis is like 6'8".
Yeah.
And his main guy is like 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big boy,
and I'm
too.
standing there 6'2". And I just felt, oh my God, this is what the world is like to Blake.
Yeah, no, I
Just
get
everybody's looking down at him.
I get now why you're always asking to ride me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I asked Travis when he was doing my mini split.
I mean, imagine when they were at my house.
They throw you around?
What's the weather like up there?
Like
They toss you?
Yeah.
Well, they came out to my house and they took care of things. We had the new mini Dragon Den needed to be cooled, and they took care of that. They took care of it quickly. They do have trucks with the Dumb Zone logo on the back, but they mercifully did not park that in front of my house.
So I think they have one truck
Okay.
with our logo on it. And they got like a bit where they're giving away Stars tickets, playoff tickets, if indeed you were to text their main line with a picture of that truck, like if you see it out on the road. So what is their number?
The number's
stuff?
469 667 7290. 469 667 7290 for all your heating, V, A's, and C's needs. It's Community Mechanical.
We never did review White Lotus. Do you want to quickly at least
Yeah, let
give
me pull
yours,
up-
especially you?
Yeah, let me pull up my because I haven't
Because you watched the entire season, and then you stopped right before the finale, and were only guilted into watching the finale, right? My wife was telling me, this is what she says every time she watches the show. Oh, I'll bet there's like a White Lotus tour you can take.
And there is.
Yeah, she said she saw something on one of her other shows, like Today's Show, about like for $180,000 you can do a White Lotus tour.
Well, I mean it's that hotel, right? That's probably I mean, I've been to that island.
You think it's more than like $200 a night?
Yeah.
I thought you can be real
Yeah.
like,
You can be.
but like if you make modest money, you can go to Thailand and be like a millionaire.
Yeah, I'm surprised that even that hotel they're saying it's $180,000, but
Well, no,
I
just
don't-
whatever tour they would take you on.
Yeah,
I think they take
nah.
you to a couple different locations.
it wouldn't be that much. Those islands are cheap. I mean, there's a reason why Gary wants to stay living there.
Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
I thought the finale was great. I thought it's a slow burn throughout the year, but I thought it was very good. I thought a lot of things were telegraphed, that you could tell how things were going to line up. One of the things that didn't get telegraphed, I thought Uncle Rico was like actually going to steal money from the black lady, because she just, as we've recently talked about, she just gave him her bank number or routing and account number.
Yeah, I
in order
immediately
for him
said
to
something about
deposit
that.
something into her account. But then he did end up depositing $5 million. I thought the youngest son drinking the poison was overly telegraphed. Like, how many times are we going to just put the camera on that?
A blend of the protein. And, I will give him credit. It is a slow burn, but, I mean, they pay their symbols off, right? So the whole season, the older brother's trying to get the younger brother to, hey, take the blender, get the protein shake, and he doesn't want it. And so it's every episode, right? The blender, and then at the end they're like, we'll put the poison in the blender. They're very into that sort of thing with this show.
I thought they telegraphed Scott Glenn. He's the old that was the husband of the Asian lady singer.
The
that they were
matriarch lady.
pretending she was going to be in a movie. They telegraphed him as being the father of Walt Goggins. So that didn't surprise me at all in the end. But it was kind of cool how the black lady, it's kind of the money corrupts like thing, I guess. because the black lady did just what the lady did to her.
At the end of season 3, or Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, but that did the same thing to her. She said, "Oh, I'm now not going to invest in a business with you because other things have come up." And now that this lady supposedly wanted to start her own business and all this, but then once they get the $5 million out of Uncle Rico, says that to her, way too hot guy that she was sleeping with. Like, there's no way that works. I guess it's TV, but that's certainly woke TV, right? If the fat black lady is getting this hottest Asian dude ever, like I just didn't see that being realistic at all. Like, I wanted to have sex with that guy. That's how hot he was.
I wanted to have sex with both of them.
Uh-huh.
So I will tell you that there are some people that maybe would be like, hey, this lady's a little big, but there's nothing wrong with it. But I would also agree that in this case, they pushed the woke relationship too far.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't
way too far.
Throw a leg on it, as Jake would say.
Yeah, I like that.
But I would say that he wouldn't.
Yeah, and I do think
I would with anything.
I do think that's to the extent
I'm
that
looking at that couch over there.
That the show's trying to make a point. It is about money corrupting. The whole show, really.
Other problems that I have, significant problems. I think the dad was terribly cast. He was well cast on look. The dad of the North Carolina family.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly his grandfather was governor of North Carolina. And they have generational wealth in that family. And so he's like a real high society North Carolina guy, kind of like the guy that got in trouble a couple years ago in South Carolina, the murder case.
Yeah, not Kavanaugh.
You were really into
Murdaugh.
Murdaugh. And he didn't sound like he's from North Carolina. I'm like, who is this guy?
No.
And I researched. He's an Australian. And once you know that, then a lot of things he says, you're like, yeah, there's the Aussie accent.
Seriously,
he was
sense.
terrible. I just thought, as far as that's a North Carolina dad, absolutely horrible.
Doesn't help that he's next to Parker Posey, who's
also
crushing it. You don't think so?
She was crushing it? I don't know. It just felt weak. She felt like overdoing whatever she was trying to do. I just didn't get it.
Man, and it's not like I grew up in the South, but the super 1% pilled up older church white lady, I feel like that's the vibe she was going for and nailed it, but it was uncomfortable.
I'm glad you brought up pills. Okay, let's paint this scene. So she is really addicted to these pills. I don't know if they're pain pills, sleeping pills. They seem to be sleeping pills at the beginning, whatever. But they're there for a week. The father has made it clear he's never tried pills of any kind. That's not his game. In fact, looks down upon her derisively a bit for she's popping these pills all the time. She even offers him one to help him sleep. He doesn't need it. I don't do pills. I don't do that game. He tries one, kind of loves it. It's getting him in a zombie mode. That's what he's got some problems going on at home, so he's in a zombie mode because he ate the pills. Then he loves it so much that he steals her pills. Now, these are the pills that she is addicted to. This is her whole life, is these pills. She is upset at first when she can't find the pills. And then we don't hear about it again. I'll tell you what. If I can't find my whatever I've brought that I really lean on to help me take that edge off or whatever, I'm going to be really – first of all, I'm probably not leaving the purse downstairs out of my sight. You're always keeping those pills on you if that's your game.
You would think so. However, pills are a little bit more – like you lose track of things a little bit more. But I'm glad you're making this point because you would have been upset. You would think she would be upset.
She would keep looking for him. She looked when she got back to the house.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Then she could sleep. Everything was fine. She had a great week.
You're skipping a super important detail, and that is the part where she dies from withdrawals. Because you cannot be taking 20 benzos or Valiums a day.
That's why you'd be looking around all the time. Like, where is it? Where's my pill? Have you guys seen my pills?
You physically, it's an opiate, right? You physically, like when I went away, The people who have to stay away from everyone for like a week are the people who are taking that many pills because your body freaks out. And she just is like, well, I guess I'll switch to wine. And I'm like, that ain't going to work, huh?
Yeah, and like mentally, though, you would also be really
You would think so,
zipping
yeah.
around. But,
Okay.
And then this guy all of a sudden is popping 2 at a time. He's never done pills before, but he's popping 2 at a time. He's drinking hard liquor throughout the day. It's I just thought there was a lot of not realistic. And speaking of not realistic on drinking and all, these guys, when they went to that party, the full moon party, they did something, ecstasy, I don't know.
That's what they make it seem like.
But they would, mid-trip or mid-whatever, all of a sudden they're having real coherent, well-thought-out conversations, but then they'll go back to, oh, now I'm dancing and acting like I'm on ecstasy. I just thought a lot of unrealistic stuff regarding the drug use, and I won't have it anymore.
All right, so my one, which I think is a kind of a larger conversation, the situation with the North Carolina family, the dad who's in finance, they're away on vacation in Thailand. They've got their 3 teen to college age kids with them, and they're going to put their phones away. That's part of being at this resort in Thailand. You go no phone for 10 days, 2 weeks. This guy's getting rung up on like insider trading or something. He's involved in some level of white-collar crime, and he finds that out when they get to Thailand, Blake. And somebody's calling him. It's his lawyer. His lawyer's like, dude, it's not good. The third phone call with the lawyer, he's like, you're probably going to do like 6 months to a year. And, they're going to get in your money. And this guy's like, he's like Dan said, he's a legacy family from North Carolina, multi-millionaire. And he gets told, like, it's not good. You're probably going down. It's probably 6 months to a year. It's going to be in the papers, whatever. And his first and immediate thought, and the thought for the rest of the season, is I got to kill myself. He finds a gun immediately. Only reason he doesn't use it is he loses it. Now he's trying to poison himself. I think
he was trying to kill the whole family
at one point, yeah, except his son, which was, I thought, a cool little story. But I just think if I were him, I'd be like, you know what, fuck it, we ball. I'm going to thug this out. I've got $20 million in the bank. The government's going to come take, even if they take all of it, I'm me. When I get out of jail in a year, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to have to go work at a fast food restaurant?
I'm a governor's grandson.
I'm a governor's grandson who was at the top of this law firm. Look at all the people who go to jail and come out from that class. You're fine. You don't need to blow your head off at 60 years old because you might go to white-collar jail for a year. Like, let's have a pair. And the whole season is just like, oh, I can't take it. It's so much stress. The worst thing that would have happened if he would have been on the phone is they come to Thailand and take you. Would have been embarrassing, but I doubt they're going to extradite you over financial crimes. But you just go back and go to jail. In fact, I'm thinking his kids would have thought it was cool. Like, go to your son and be like, yeah, dude, we're playing fat. His son works for him. And he's like, what's going on at work, Dad? Just tell him, listen, I'm a criminal. That's how I built all this. I might have to go to jail. Not immediately, I've got to kill myself. I thought that was unrealistic.
Goodfellas has changed my view of white-collar jail.
Yeah.
Seems awesome.
Well, I mean, and it's a movie.
With your buddies,
I don't think it's just the bros. But I don't think, like, if you're the guy from Oklahoma City, he was going to jail for like 30 years. And he was old. So he wrecked his car into that embankment going 120. I think a year in no rape prison is, you just got to do it. Your kids are grown.
Yeah.
Write it out.
Yeah.
Be a man.
You're going to be fine. All right. Let's do this.
Too long.
What's too long? That
The
pause?
episode.
Oh, it was an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
The last, 30 minutes are Hall of Fame stuff from Walton Goggins. I will give you that. That was nice.
Yeah, Walt continues to be great. Uncle Rico's great. The fact he's still out there, I'm sure he'll be involved again. That storyline won't die. Sports Today brought to you by ownwell.com/thedumbzone. That is the place that can help you reduce your property taxes. EMOS, because you've signed up for everything at Ownwell, which just takes like 5 minutes, right? As far as they'll check on other – I haven't done this part yet. I've gone in with the property taxes, but you can also put in other bills that you have.
Yeah, they just tried to lower my phone bill. They have lowered my internet bill. But it says here, I've got the email in front of me. We've started working on your appeal for my address. So I think the deadline is May 15th for your property taxes. Ownwell is already on the case for me, and they will be going forward. So it's sign up in 3 minutes, but it's into perpetuity. Hell of a deal.
If they get you money, then you pay them a slice of that money, a smaller slice than any of the other
Don't think of it as you
services.
paying them even.
Well, no, yeah, they'll just take a slice
Yeah.
of the money that they save you. If they save you nothing, you pay nothing. So that's a great
And you weren't getting that
great
money.
risk reward, I would say.
You weren't getting that money on your own, trust me. We've tried fighting these before.
Ownwell.com/thedumbzone. Do what Establish the Run guy does and hit up Ownwell at ownwell.com/thedumbzone. Big Stars night. I fell
That's fun.
asleep, but I watched it this morning before I knew the score. That was awesome. And I honestly,
you did?
we had talked about it off the air the other day, the Linus thing, and I kind of forgot until player intros he was coming back. And in my head, I'm like, boy, this feels tilted. That place was insane.
Yeah.
That's the craziest story, short of the story we're going to talk about later, of the generic lacrosse player White that plays in the NBA now. But 3 years off the ice.
Tell me the story.
He got hurt. The last time he played was the end of the 2022 season when they won. So then he missed 2022-23. He missed 23-24. And he missed all of the 24-25 regular season and is now back in Game 3. He's their captain.
Why would you miss 3 years?
It was knee, but then it turned into a whole bunch of other stuff related to his knee. Like he would get back to where he was like skating 3-on-3, and then he would miss another 3 or 4 months. Crazy. I mean, I think it got infected at one point.
And his first game back was yesterday.
Yeah, it was a very, I don't recall the duration for Alex Smith, but it felt like an Alex Smith type story.
So
Except he's still somewhat good.
So the barn was going crazy.
It was nuts. And he's in the starting lineup.
They rode that momentum to a victory.
No, but it did to your point though, if I were to make some case, I do think that there was energy at the start of the game that was tilting the ice a little bit. And he was fired up, like laying hits and going crazy, and then they kind of, they only allowed.
It's the old, we got to withstand that
exactly,
early.
and I think that is a real thing, and they did.
I do
and
too.
Nutted up, and I don't know much about what I'm watching, but I know that in the intermissions and following along on Twitter, it was like, you're outplaying the Avs and you're down. That's the type of game where if you lose, I don't know.
I felt so great for Tyler Sagan.
You get the outplaying and lose. Dude, and that was a sweet goal, too.
He looked
Moose. Nico started it.
He was giddy.
Yeah, the Randon thing is funny. I mean, I only know the story of how he was traded and then traded again, but he's been awful. Like he's given them nothing.
Yeah.
The advanced stats, all of it is terrible. And they're obviously without Miro and Jason Robertson, so they're kind of hanging on by a prayer, but it's a big win.
So they're up 2-1 now?
They're up 2-1 now.
Next game in Dallas is like Monday, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that right? Is it that far away?
Well, they'll play
Next game in Dallas. They have one more.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. I got one little Nico thing. I don't want to do too much on it, but I did watch Luka the other night. God, he went nuts. He just Luked it. That's the thing about Luka. That's the thing. He's consistently going to give you 30, but he might just give you 45 sometime.
Yeah.
Or he might, he's consistent. That's the thing. He's always awesome. And he might be super, super awesome. And I thought he was super awesome the other night. Game they needed to win. We thought it was a must-win. They did too.
Did
so
you
they'll
see
go back
the
to Minnesota.
Did you see the poll, the athletic player poll?
Oh yeah, I saw some of this stuff on that. You got anything from there?
Well, just that in one of the charts that the Athletic put out, one of them was who's the most overrated player, and there was 90 votes I think for that one, and Luka didn't get one vote. You know how hard that is to have. It's 90 guys, but
for
it's
a great player.
Yeah, especially one who pisses people off, and he didn't get one.
Do you think being traded helped that? Like, clearly he's not overrated.
I don't know,
Somebody
but-
would actually trade him.
But what's weird is that I don't. It's hard to think of too many players who have been critical of him. Current players. You know what I mean? Like Tyrese Halliburton, who finished number 1 on this list, for whatever reason, everyone hates that guy. Whether it's Tim Hardaway Sr. on down to seemingly Dame Lillard and every other, people just don't like him. But he finished first, so I don't know. The Mavericks did skyrocket up one list, which was worst run organization. They popped up. They're up to like number 5 now. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, I think that's too low for them.
Jason Kidd received no votes for, aside from your own current coach, who is the best coach in the league. No votes. That is 147 votes cast. Anyways, things are tough. Things are bad.
Things are really bad. So RealGM.com had an article. I don't know if it's true.
No, it's Real GM is quoting Tim McMahon on Bomani Jones, which means that's what Tim McMahon has heard. Sorry, that was ice. Sorry.
That the Mavs want to – Patrick Dumont wants to hire an experienced executive to work with Nico Harrison. No!
I'm gonna
Now he's saying it.
Yeah.
Now.
Which means he's going to keep him around.
I wouldn't predict anything.
I feel like business-wise, Patrick Dumont has to fire Nico Harrison. The sooner the better. And you have to say, look, I was led astray. I was led astray by this wayward, that's the only way for them to get any of this business back that they're losing, man. Then you'll say to Patrick Dumont, yeah, but you were kind of criticizing Luka right after. Look, I'm a businessman. I don't know ball, but I did. I was convinced by this guy. You got to turn him into the total. He is the one evil piece in all of this. It is the only way for Mavs fans like me who have left the mat. Like, I will not support the Mavs. To possibly come back. But you just can't, because even if they ended up winning next year, I don't think they will. Like, it's such a thin little possible margin that they could actually win it all. But even if they're kind of winning, you'd have to, like, to trade away a guy 5 years younger, like, you just don't do it. It's just so illogical. I think he must be fired. And that's the way that Patrick Dumont can just kind of take the blame on himself for being snookered by this guy.
What's crazy is they had a guy, Dennis Lindsey, the guy who was a former GM of the Jazz, and then now I think he's back with.
Did he go to the Pistons?
Yeah, I think so. But they had a guy, and now it's not all that shocking that guy left, because Nico was clearly very difficult to work with. By the way, the same thing could be said for Donnie Nelson, who the Cuban tried to hire Gerson Rosas many years ago, and that lasted about a summer before he was like, what is this? So I'm not trying to say that they had just the cleanest functioning organization under the previous regime, but, that smug motherfucker sitting up there and going, and it doesn't really work when people try to tell me what to do because I'm pretty stubborn myself. I don't need that shit right there. We know, dude. All the reporting now just looks true because everyone keeps saying, boy, this guy's operating kind of as a lone wolf here, kind of stubborn. But the problem now is he's lost his death grip because of those dollars. The death grip era, and, he even alluded to that in his press conference. He was, he did the, my relationship with Patrick, like, we talk a lot more because we're in this together now. And we're talking a lot more. No, that's right. You're going to be talking every day until you're not, because you two are the same thing. So I do think he's losing that.
That's
a
where
little bit.
Dumont has to separate himself.
Yeah,
they have to separate the franchise as if this wasn't even us at all. We were
villain.
We
were bamboozled.
We bought in. We thought, oh, this guy is the, and we might end up blaming Cuban a little more in this case for, hey, why didn't you give me a little more insight onto how inexperienced this guy was? What do you think? I don't like to bring this up. I never bring this stuff up, but others do. Is Dennis Lindsey white?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's white.
What are your thoughts on the racism angle that Nico is replacing? Because the Tim McMahon article, which did come out the other day, talked about Casey Smith, the trainer.
Yeah.
Like Dirk's favorite. Well liked by all the players, apparently, including Luka. And that the way he was fired is makes it a little worse. I'm sure Tim McMahon is possibly playing that up a little, but still, that's a franchise built on loyalty and blah, blah, blah.
Well, let me say this real quick. Tim would not have included that detail about firing Casey while Casey was away taking care of his dying mom if the story was not about Nico not understanding how to relate to people. You know what I mean? Like, if this had just been a normal he got fired story, even if there was acrimony, they wouldn't bring that up. But the point of the story is this guy is a weirdo. He doesn't know how to get along with anyone. So I think that's why it's important, albeit a bit dramatic.
I also think his fallback is the AAU circuit. If he wants to get rid of all white Europeans or whatever, I just think he's an American guy who knows American players.
Well, the people he's firing or getting rid of are white, and the people he's bringing in are not.
I know. It's
tricky. Something to look at, folks. Something to look at.
It's tricky. Got to get Cooper Flag. Now, that'd be great, right? He passes on Flag.
That's the only way I'll believe this is an NBA conspiracy is if they get the number 1 pick.
That'd be cool.
Kind of cool, but I don't want Nico around for it. Really, though, that's if they get the number 1 pick, this is then a conspiracy, and I will never not believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Let's just
don't care about Nico anymore.
Yeah.
Didn't Jerry Jones even? They brought that up yesterday. Do you have that audio or no?
No, I don't have it. I could probably get it pretty quick, but
he's
with Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked him about what is he. I mean, if you're there with Jerry Jones, throw out the Nico trade.
I don't know if this will work or not, Blake, but I'm trying.
Clarence Hill, DLS Cowboys. Picking up here our nightmares and trading great players. How have you taken in the Luka trade and how that's transpired the last few weeks?
Well, I'm a fan of the Mavericks, big fan of the Mavericks, and consequently a big fan of Luka. The world knows that I've got my hands full thinking about what we think about over here, much less trying to figure out. I look at the Maverick through a very much entertainment eye. And I know Luka was a personal friend and watched a lot of games with us.
Wouldn't you pay to hear it?
Them talking? Oh, my God. There's no way they've ever had a substantive
personal
conversation,
friend.
right?
No, I mean, I wouldn't think so, but,
And would hope that he would be able to watch some more games with us as we go along, know his family pretty well and his support staff pretty well. So all of that is just one as a fan. Now, Gene was All-State, scored 17 straight free throws in the state championship game. And Gene lives and dies with that basketball. And just cried when Luka left. But I understand that, and I understand, frankly, you say, how could that happen? I've got a little bit probably better understanding how something like that can happen.
Well, that did cause, I don't know, someone on the internet said, hey, you guys need to look into Gene Jones' basketball career. I tried.
The career?
Well, he just said she was all state in basketball and alluded to a stretch of 17 consecutive free throws made at one point, which perhaps is her highlight of her career. But being all-state as a white female basketball player in Arkansas in 1955 or whatever.
Wasn't a whole lot of options.
Feels like she might have been one of the 5 players who played basketball.
Correct. And it is the most female.
There's no way they had a girls basketball team.
It's the most
in their high school.
I don't know. If anything. I mean, they had.
Like in the 80s, they might not have, let alone 1950.
Yeah, back then it would have been the 3-on-3 game, right?
Oh, and they only played half court, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the most 50s white.
In like a gown.
50s white basketball thing to marvel like it's Kobe scoring 82 to be like she made 17 straight free throws. Like the crowd's just going bonkers. Like she's at 11. This is insane. What's
double digits?
What sorcery this woman?
Yes, the giant crowd at a basketball game in Arkansas.
So another guy that I think Jerry's fairly familiar with is Tillman Fertitta. He's the owner of the Rockets and has a close association with the Houston Cougars, the national championship Houston Cougars. Wait, no. Second place. Yeah.
They blew it.
Lost. But
beat Duke, though.
They were they were at some sort of appreciation rally, and the Rockets owner, this guy was, I think, involved in UFC. Maybe his cousins are involved in UFC. Anyways.
I was in the White House, in the Oval Office, with the Prime Minister of Italy. And
already I'm loving it.
Love
man.
Italy.
Yeah, that's popular down here.
The Prime Minister of Italy and the President last Thursday, and we talked about the Houston Cougars, I can promise you, for at least a minute and a half.
Ooh, a minute.
All right, so, I mean.
Hold on.
Tight 90.
The funny.
At least a minute and a half. Like, that's a weird time frame to put on something.
Do you think, hold on real quick, just let me back it up. So he's at the White House. He's talking to a college basketball team, right? They're all sitting there watching. They're not even in suits. This is not like 35-year-old pro athletes who know, they don't know.
Prime Minister of Italy.
All right, you think they're like, holy shit. You had the PM of Italy on? It's just, yeah, here you go.
And the President last Thursday, and we talked about the Houston Cougars, I can promise you, for at least a minute and a half. And then we talked about that dumbass Luke Doncic trade that Dallas did.
Wow.
So, by the way, that's
Luke Doncic?
Hold on. So that's an owner, by the way, who is considered pretty involved in his team. Like, he's out there, and he is the owner of a team in Texas. And this is how he talks.
And then we talked about that dumbass Luke Doncic trade that Dallas did.
So if you think Patrick Dumont had any idea what was waiting for him that Monday morning, there's no way. There's just no way.
What a tepid response by the crowd.
Yeah. They're less excited about that than that prime real estate of 90 seconds with Georgia Maloney or whoever she is. I have some stuff that's lightly sports. It's sports media.
Okay, sure. I don't care.
You want to talk about – oh, wait. What's our setup here today? We want to break it like 45 to get ready for Kevin Farley?
Yeah.
Well, I have something to do before the break, so.
Why don't you go first?
No, I'm going to go right before the break.
Okay. So Shannon Sharpe, there was news last week that he was looking for an 8-figure podcast deal. Was that right?
9, wasn't it?
He was looking for a lot of money. He currently does a podcast, the Club Shay Shay podcast, for Colin Cowherd's network. He's a regular on ESPN, and he's, I guess, somewhat of a hot media property right now. No longer does the regular show with Skip or on TV, but he's a guest on First Take and Get Up and all that. So, guy also loves to fuck. Loves it. Loves the ladies.
Sounds like he's good at it.
He, there was a story that he live streamed himself having sex on Instagram Live sometime late last year. He was, I think, lightly mentioned in that FS1 makeup lawsuit, and was also kind of thought to be behind that because he had just left Fox, and he maybe have had like an axe to grind. Like some people thought that he put that hairdresser up to that because of the way he was treated and the way he was treated by the boss and maybe even by Skip, and that's where that came from. Well, now he's getting his allegations, which is a woman, initially was a Jane Doe, filed this lawsuit on Sunday in Nevada alleging that that he assaulted her a couple times physically. Whole bunch of other stuff too, manipulation, control, emotional intimidation, but that he's raped her basically. That they were in a consensual relationship, but that he went way over the line. And so we talked about this a little bit, I think, the other day when it first broke, but there have been a few developments. The first of which was his attorneys decided to fight back by releasing some text messages. Now, they're fighting back again against Tony Busby, owner of a tank, lots of nice art, and I think he got Kevin Sumlin fired, in addition to trying to sue Jay-Z and everyone else.
He was the lawyer for all the ladies on Deshaun Watson, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most apt piece of info. So I don't think did we read the text the other day? I think they came out after the show.
Go ahead.
I don't think we did.
So they go right for the kill like they do. I love how when lawyers write like this, it's like a book does. When you start a new chapter and there's a quote at the beginning.
I hate it.
I love that. And it
Why?
sets the tone for, I don't know, it's just cool to me, especially if there's, like if you read a book where it's one guy who's quoted at the beginning of each one, I like that. They don't even start with like a sentence in this release. They just start with a quote in italics. Quote, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're fucking me."
This is from her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one right after. "I know you miss this big juicy ass. $25K for each cheek." This lawsuit, filed by Gabrielle Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney Busby, is a blatant lie, blah, blah, blah. They also include a couple of other ones where she says, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want," to me. But I think that means to say you. "I want to put my tongue in your asshole and then marry you." Just like in the olden days.
This is from her?
All of this is from her.
Oh, okay.
"That's my daddy, fuck. I want you to put a big black baby in me." And finally, to keep with the theme, I think it's important to note this text, 8 months after the one I just read for you. "You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me." She's very focused on acquiring this large black child. And, you know, they're just including this to point out, like, hey, it was getting rough. So,
I thought I saw something where, well, they did release some audio, right, of him saying, "I'll choke you."
So then TMZ gets this audio yesterday of she recorded it. There's a lot of pauses in here, so I'm going to kind of skip around.
And maybe it's not that I'm thinking of.
It
Did he say something about release the whole sex tape?
So, yeah, I got
like they were going to release a part of a sex tape.
Here's his first response, which it looks like he's just sitting at his first take studio and somebody just recorded it with a phone. It's really weird because this stuff came out Sunday. He was on the air Monday, on the air Tuesday. So this is from Monday.
"To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty.
Ooh.
I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All right.
Now, here's the voicemail.
Now, would you guys watch that video?
That's the dumbest thing you've
The
ever
full
asked.
sex tape, Shannon Sharpe.
I mean, I don't know how. I probably wouldn't make it past. I'd need 12 watches to get 10 minutes.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to have a screening, like we could do at the Alamo.
Yeah, we could do a screening, or we could do it online. Yeah, sure. What would we give away? Like, we give
Dog
away
collar.
little cap guns for Point Break. Dog collar's good.
Yeah. Choking with a dog collar, that's another level.
Yeah.
It's different. A little extra humiliation in there.
Some people just
I like your style, Shannon Sharpe.
Some people just have different lives than we do.
You think?
It's amazing. The way they talk to each other.
So then she recorded a
Do you
phone
think
call that they had.
One of our wives would put on a dog collar if we asked?
My wife hasn't said no before.
Honestly, I bet I could get that done.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, I may have to put one on, too. But if that
Which you'll happily do.
Yeah, I think so.
She's never asked me to put my tongue in her ass.
$25K a cheek.
Jake's silent on that.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's all the same to me, guys. This is a phone call.
You're already down there.
Sure, whatever. I'll stop by on my way home. This is clearly like an attempt by her to get him to say something crazy. They're in the middle of a fight, and she starts recording the call. I think will that play?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
Then there's like 10 seconds of silence.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
That's pretty much it.
This is why Dan can't date a much younger woman. That's how they talk all the time. I'm just too lazy to talk. I just can't form sense.
Even though they're making like $250,000 a month to pop some ass.
I make more money than you ever will. Show my tits, but I'm just not interested.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird situation. I like his play of like put out the whole tape. Show my massive dick for 10 minutes. That's awesome.
Yeah, and especially if he feels pretty confident, this is good for the Shannon Sharpe business, right? This drives.
Yeah. Well, I will.
When do we get a sex tape?
I mean, I think in the end you're probably right, but ESPN has taken him off the air as of now. I mean, it's
a little too hot for ESPN?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that he was on Monday and Tuesday at all is indicative of a cultural shift.
Like, what if this was
I think
McAfee?
if this happened in 2017, he would have been off the air Monday.
Oh, yeah. McAfee rides it out till proven guilty in a court of law? Not Skip. What's the Screamin' A?
I don't know. I feel like if this is getting bad. So, they took Michael Irvin, for allegations. But
Whatever happened with that?
Just kind of went away, didn't it? Seemed like he was innocent, too.
That was the NFL Network. That wasn't ESPN.
Here's one more quote. Wait, where'd it go? Hold on. I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ass, and you didn't listen. The woman, who was 19 at the time, texted him. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. So we might have a Kobe sitch.
Anyways, indeed. Do you want to do a little viewer mail and then my thing and then break?
Sure.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we can do that. It is Thursday, so we got to do the big Thursday.
The Thursday viewer mail follow-up extravaganza inclement fossil thing.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
We'll make this brought to us by Early Bird CBD because I got some gummy thoughts in here too. Early Bird CBD is definitely the choice to take that edge off in the evening. If you have tried CBD before and you're like, I don't know, this has THC in it.
Come on, man.
So if you get drug tested at work, this is not for you.
No, it's not. But if you want something that works, it is.
We drug test you to make sure that you
That's
have
right.
it. You cannot be hired if you get a negative on that drug test.
Earlybirdcbd.com. Dumbzone is your discount code for 20% off. Stock up. Just go stock up.
Just in case.
Chocolate bars.
Who knows?
Gifts. Give them as gifts. Earlybirdcbd.com. Dumbzone is that promo code. Let's switch over here to viewer mail.
I have a few.
I'm going to start real quick, okay? This is from E. Perez, pursuant to the recent mention of Dr. Atkins, who I believe we all said it was kind of like doing the Wedding Crashers hang gliding thing. We're like, oh, I'm so healthy. I ate a bunch of beef. I'm dead. He didn't die from eating too much beef or whatever we were saying he did.
That's definitely what my playground was saying.
Yeah, like, oh, look, the all beef guy died. He died slipping on an icy sidewalk. He fell into a coma and died. He did have cardiomyopathy, a heart muscle disease that was probably caused by a virus, not by what he ate. And then cholesterol-lowering diets show no evidence on benefit on mortality, blah, blah, blah.
Are there a couple of true stories like this, though? Like Jim Fix. Wasn't he a runner, but he died while running? Something like that. He was like a real famous runner. Or the Marlboro Man. You ever hear about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like in the commercials, and I think he died of lung cancer. Like there is a precedent for
yeah, I'm trying to see.
Guy who invented meat diet died on a piece of meat. Or
Steve Irwin count?
He says, this guy, see, this is an interesting email because this guy's just basically saying, like, hey, no, he didn't die from meat. That's not true. And I would have appreciated that note. But there are people who see the worlds like this also. Because E. Perez continued, the libtard's fear of meat and fat have been wrong this whole time. I say that as a libtard. Liberals are not omniscient. 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 I would think of omnipotent.
Yeah.
But infallible gods. We must be wrong about some things. This is one of those things. And I'm like, okay, man, I don't know. I like meat. Not messing me up. Go ahead, Blake.
An anchor phrase addition from Brian. Wreck, W-R-E-A-K.
Havoc.
Yeah.
Reek. Wouldn't it be wreak havoc?
Yeah, you say it as reek, but I've never. I mean, when you Google it, the example has havoc in it.
Yeah.
Another one. They would soon have a chance to wreak their revenge on the enemy.
It's reek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been saying wreck havoc all your life?
Yep.
To be fair, it's kind of one of those.
Often? Nope.
Oh, play-by-play guy, he's definitely used that phrase.
Look at him wrecking havoc.
Has wrecked havoc?
No, reek.
Reeked?
You wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, to be fair, kind of a tough one along the lines of untracked, right? Untracked means
got on track. Got
on track, which is a little bit tricky.
I heard from a Dallas Cowboys employee who has reached out and said, I've never gotten the pancake mix from Aspen.
It's on the docket for this weekend.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it in Weekend Check, but we had it this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, good. Great. We didn't have buttermilk, though.
Yeah.
I feel like,
that
and
helps.
then my wife was like, I don't know if this is the greatest pancake I've ever had. I go, I think you have to make it.
You got to soak it overnight in buttermilk. Yeah.
Well, she did soak it like half hour or something, but not in buttermilk.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Yeah.
But really good, right? So yeah, maybe that's something I've got to track down. Where are these?
But that's kind of like
going?
shrimp or lobster, and I dipped it in butter. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess it does taste good. Like,
okay. But it's a different kind of.
If I pour these pancakes, okay, this is regular this is Aunt Jemima pancakes, but I poured more sugar and buttermilk and like every whipped cream. And guess what? It's the greatest I've ever had.
Fine.
That employee didn't get one, but that fourth kid did.
Yeah.
Guaranteed one of those got delivered.
And then my last one, I need help from our audience. Because I got an email from a listener. Says, on last Tuesday episode, this was from March 18th. A listener sent an email saying he's got a Texas bar in New York City. I think his name was Jason or Justin. Didn't say the name of the bar he owns. I'm also a Texas transplant living in New York City and would like to know what this spot is. So if you're this person, we need to hear from you. And this goes to Jake's.
We're doing classified ads.
We're going to Jake's point of never trash, only archive, because that message got trashed and I can't find it.
That's okay. Good. That's a public service.
That is a good public service.
So Jason or Justin runs a Texas bar in New York City. We would like to hear from you so we can connect you to.
I have a pretty crazy one here. So I got a couple or a handful of emails that were bad beat adjacent about public sex. Like Danny Jeans, the guy who lived in my house before I lived in it in college. He also had the same move. I heard from a number of people on this one. The residential construction move. Like if you're in high school, finding a house that's just at the right stage of being built, where you can't just see into it, but it's also not, full. And he said, I found a house with doors, no locks. Everything worked out. It was too easy. One day I had my girlfriend bent over the third or fourth step, feet on the floor, elbows on the stairs, when a realtor and two clients walked in.
Oh.
I froze mid-thrust, not knowing what to do. My girlfriend sprinted up the stairs with her shorts still around one ankle, leaving me there alone like some sort of bare-ass statue. They walked out the back door and we exited. So I've never been caught like that.
Dang, that's bad.
And this email from Amy is not about being caught, but about complications. She says, fiance, now ex, and I did a Catholic church pre-marriage weekend counseling session.
Weekend?
Dan did that.
A whole weekend.
Had to be on the weekend.
I didn't do a whole weekend. I mean, I did one session with a guy.
It was just one session for you?
Yeah, I didn't have to go stay somewhere.
She said, we did a pre-marriage weekend counseling session. Wanted to bang and search for an appropriate secluded spot. Traipsed around in the wild for a while, found the spot, got the deed done. Within days, we were covered with red spots and severe itching.
Yeah.
Not being from Texas, we didn't know what was going on. Turns out effing chiggers. Weeks of ridiculous remedies like calamine lotion and sitting in diluted bleach water. What kind of hellhole did we move to where you can't even F safely in the wild? The chiggers. I guess I didn't know that was Texas specific, because when I watch outdoor adult material, I'm like, eek. Somebody's gonna
You're always thinking of that?
It'd be itchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one great thing about the fake grass. You can bang in it and no chiggers. One of the funniest things I ever heard on the ticket ever, and I was not allowed to replay it, was when somebody brought that term up on the hard line, and Danny was like, no, I think they prefer chigros.
Dang.
And just nobody knew, is that dump? Is that not dump? And then it was just don't replay it. But no, that's that's a big part of the outdoor boning. Itching.
When's the last time you guys made love outdoors?
I don't think ever.
Really?
No.
Never in a dugout?
No, what is this, Fast Times? No.
I think once. Once for sure. Yeah. I'm thinking about it way too much right now.
Out in the wild?
Not super wild, but outside. Do you have one you want to do?
I have Hey Dumb Zone, curious as to whatever came about on Jake's skydiving excursion.
So we got canceled the weekend that we were supposed to go due to wind, darling.
It's been windy.
And that means that morning.
That sounds like.
If it's windy, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it. If that's enough to
just
debilitate
feels like,
the whole thing.
Like when you're up, how do you know? Like, what's the miles per hour that you can't?
I don't know.
Like if it was 15 miles per hour, they'd be like, oh, okay, this is good wind. Like, but if it's 17, like, have they done a study?
I mean, I'm sure their insurance company has.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, I guess you are signing a waiver. But it got moved to this coming Saturday morning when I believe the weather will also be prohibitive.
Okay. So you're not counting on it happening soon.
Yeah, I don't, and it's weird, too. I just kind of forget about it. It's not real pressing on my mind.
I also had Z mentioning one-day contracts. He asked if when I retire, will I consider a one-day contract with, what do you think he says? Because it's not the ticket.
No, I know it's not the ticket.
Oh, okay. The station in Dayton you used to work for and have a press conference on William Pace's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he.
What if I called them
Willie
and just
P
said,
was in here somehow.
Hey, I work there. Would you sign a one-day contract?
No, yeah, you do it, but you have to do it very presumptuously. Like you have to do it kind of like whenever Corby would walk you around and be like, "You have 2 minutes with this guy." You have to call and be like,
Tell them.
Yeah,
I'm signing a one day.
I'm calling to sign my 1 day to retire there. Assuming that they would be stoked on that.
I'll need 30 minutes on morning drive on this day.
Man, I have a much probably longer presentation on this when we have video and audio, but I got a lot of information on cockfighting. A lot. And I went back and forth with this guy. I'll just read part of this. He says, I personally haven't been to these fights here in Texas, but I've been told by family members, he's from Mexico, they're a common occurrence in the Metroplex. They're shocking initially, but once you've seen a few, you become to the brutality of it. They're legal in Mexico. They're quite organized. Bets are simple and straightforward. You bet on the rooster you like against other onlookers. Money's handled by the organizer. It's about $20 to $100, max $400 or $500. The rooster fighters in Mexico take this super seriously. They feed them special high-protein meals, and they train them. They import roosters from Oklahoma and Arkansas, where they breed them. I've seen some pretty wild stuff in the ring, such as the rooster's owner sucking blood out of the mouth of a dying rooster to help it get a few more breaths to help it keep fighting, and even a rooster getting cut and literally flying out of the ring in a panic. Wild shit.
Nice.
It is an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I got a bunch of. Apparently, that stuff's happening around here, bro.
Yeah, we're over in like Northside Fort Worth. I bet we could find you one near this sit-in today, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Insane. But I'm in.
All right. I want to end before the break with something, but I do want to say I loaded up the Fitness Pack app over the weekend, something else I did. Remember, because we were talking about having a steps challenge. Here's the bit. It does cost money to load it up and start trying to use it. So I did the monthly. I just did 1 month. It's $2.99, but it's well worth it, we are told. Because, you know, you can just kind of get into it. It's Fitness Packed is what it's called. And, yeah, you get into it with a buddy or something, and you put challenges against each other, maybe with your wife. I don't know, Blake. Do whatever you want. I'm not your boss.
Yeah,
but it's going to cost like $2.99 for at least a 1 month thing. Try it for 1 month, and if you like it, then you could get a bigger discount. Go higher.
Yeah, you're definitely more likely to achieve your goals, fitness or otherwise, if you're doing it with a friend. That's just science. So Fitness Pact is the app you can use for this. You can two people don't have to be doing the same challenge, and you set a payoff. Speaking of wives, why don't you just make a pleasure pact with your wife? Go sign up for Fitness Pact. And whichever one of you performs that service more for the other one wins that week. And I don't know. You work it out. It's Fitness Pact is the app.
Prove to her that you do more of the work.
This is accountability. If you think you do more than your wife, set up a challenge and see who does more in a week. And really heal your family dynamic with the power of Fitness Pact.
All right. So today is the NFL draft. And we used to work at a radio station called The Ticket, and there was a guy on that station that did something every year called the Name Game, and I would fashion my own name game in honor of this man, Norm Hitchkus.
Okay, I'm recording here.
That's right. We did this last year, but we lost the tape.
I think we're good.
But here's a special gift to Josh Ewan, who's having us out at his great house again.
What an honor.
I would like to present to you
I won't move.
Muted.
The 2025 NFL Draft
Terrific
name game in honor of Norm Hitchkus.
Mm-hmm.
May he rest in peace. I think he's resting today.
He's
I
in
hope
peace.
it's a peaceful rest.
Yeah.
All right. You know how we do it. Like, you have a list of every player in the NFL Draft, and Norm would look at their names and be like, oh, this name is, whatever. So, in the 2025 NFL Draft, you can get a Hartwig, a Hennessy, and a Huzzy, a Lampkin, a Lippy, and a Longer Beam. You might come away from the draft with a fortune. O'Donnell Fortune, cornerback, South Carolina. And you could pair that fortune with Longhorn great Kelvin Banks. Dumbzone fans can choose 4 Dans or 2 Jakes, but no Blake. If you want a hard worker, you can grab a butler, a barber, a cook, a carpenter, or a farmer. This year, you could literally draft a graham cracker. Mason Graham, the Michigan defensive lineman, is white, Frito. Oh, Frito, racism is back, my friend. If you want to get somewhere fast, you could take a car, a van, or the Dart. Malik Carr, Darvin Van, and Jackson Dart. If you're feeling down, pick up Jaden Blue. And to keep the patented color bit going for yet another year, you can also get 1 gray, 2 browns, 2 blacks, and 3 greens. It's baffling to me that Florida's Elijah Badger didn't go to Wisconsin, and Tennessee's Omar Norman didn't go to Oklahoma. They missed out on some serious NIL marketing opportunities. Rough.
Just maybe.
Get presidential with a Washington, Adams, Jackson, Harrison, Johnson, Taylor, Wilson, Ford, and Carter. If you drafted defensive lineman Ty French and offensive lineman Josh Fryer, your team's scrimmages could feature French versus Fryer. Oh, Frito! We don't have to be racist to be hilarious, my friend. Bill Parcells once famously said he wanted to pick out the groceries. Well, this year, he could just go to Kroger. Kai Kroger, punter, South Carolina. Snag a Shine, a Singer, or a Scataboo. A Yarns, a Yates, or a Urasek. The very last player listed alphabetically is Gray Zabel, but he will absolutely not be the very last pick. In fact, I've got him in the first round on my big board. This year, your draft could be perfect, dude, because you could get a Tyler, a Garrett, a Corey, a Cody, and a Kobe. It may be ironic that you could get linebacker Ty Wise from Miami of Ohio, because if you did, it would not be a wise pick. I'm sorry. He's just not very good. Why not make a strong pick instead? Dorian Strong, Virginia Tech. You could bring Mr. Rogers to your neighborhood. Will Rogers, the quarterback from Washington, Pat. Get a Horn, a Herring, or a Hemingway. An Ellsbury, Elzinga, or an Iziruaku. There are 3 JJs, 3 RJs, 1 DJ, 3 CJs, 3 TJs, and 2 BJs. I personally like to bookend the draft with a BJ at the beginning and one at the end. And finally, Frito, in the 2025 NFL Draft, of course we want to end on a high here, so we could get a little dirty and say that there are 2 guys named Cox or 6 Johnsons. Or maybe the fact that you could end up with Chisholm on your hands. Efton Chisholm, wide receiver, Eastern Washington. But the Dumb Zone is above that kind of low-hanging wordplay because we think you should come out of this weekend with a good moosing. like Aggie wide receiver Moose Muhammad. And that is the 2025 NFL name game. Ruff, 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 ruff.
You had to be excited with all the scrutiny first and foremost, but the excitement that you generated when you walked out there, then you gave them the Johnny Manziel sign.
Had to. I mean, I felt a lot of excitement in the building. I mean, that's just me, man. I'm going to bring a lot of excitement wherever I go, and I want to win. That's the main thing. And I think with the coaching staff that they brought in to Cleveland, I think there's a good possibility for that. So, like for me, it's just go in and work really hard and try and establish myself and get better as a football player.
I personally can't wait to see you play.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Over to you, Kurt.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
I wanted to promote one more time. We will be on Big Fox tonight with Last Call with Steve Noviello. I think tonight's our last night for the week. But Boffo ratings, according to John Kukla.
Hey, look.
We beat Kimmel.
We beat Colbert.
That's right. Whoever does that. And then tonight, of course, we're doing the live stream for the NFL Draft.
Don't pop it.
So it's time for a big-name guest. We have Kevin Farley, who's going to be at the Dallas Hyenas this weekend. And we have a sponsor for this segment. It is One Day Door. First of all, Kevin Farley, everybody, is here. Comedian Kevin Farley.
Hello.
Kevin, do you read me?
Pal. We got you, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we have a sponsor for your segment. It's called One Day Doors and Closets.
Okay.
Just based on that name, what do you think?
Okay, listen. I mean,
Tell
what
me.
does that mean? You get a closet in one day?
See, thank you. We thought this was, pretty clear. You'll get your door or your closets done in one day. They won't come take them after one day.
No.
These are not doors and closets that will be in your home for one day.
You don't buy them for a day.
You don't buy them for a day.
But it takes one day to install, like, the interior doors of your home. Like,
Yeah.
walk around your house, you're going to be like,
Puh.
These look horrible.
If you ever actually stop and look at them, your doors, replacing them could go a long way. And you could do that with One Day Doors. OneDayTexas.com, promo 30. That'll get you a BOGO door. How's that deal sound, Kevin? Buy one, get one free door. You ever heard of such a thing?
No, I haven't, actually. I haven't.
He's a well-traveled man, and he's never
Not
heard
with
of that.
doors.
No.
Maybe like a sandwich
a
or
hot
something?
dog.
Yeah.
Maybe a pizza if you're lucky.
But door? A whole door?
It's
It
just
seems
insane.
impossible,
It seems.
And their copy here says it's like hanging a new piece of art in every room when you get one of these doors. It's solid.
Yeah.
It's not hollow. Go up to your door and hit it with an axe right now, and you're going to see it's hollow. Not
I don't
these.
have an axe.
Do you have an axe?
I don't have one handy, no. But I'll go find one and hit my door.
Yeah, and the good news is, if you destroy it, you have another door.
Have you seen The
if you
Shining?
bought one. Yeah.
So if you did that Shining thing, if they had called One Day Doors, Jack Nicholson doesn't get into the bathroom.
Think of how history has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
exactly.
OneDayTexas.com /promo 30. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us.
That's
I'm
right.
good. How are you?
The great Kevin Farley still with us.
So I'm going to be straight with you here. I knew that you were in the stand-up game, and I knew that you had a long career and that you've been a working actor and comedian. I'm an elder millennial, so I'm 39. And to me, I was the high school kid who thought all the boy bands were gay. And I was really just upset that all the girls in my high school loved them. But then MTV made Spinal Tap for boy bands. And I was maybe 15 or 16 when it came out. And the boy band Together and the movie and the TV series, I thought that was genius. When I was a kid, I was really into SNL and parody songs and things like that, and so this comedic take on it to me, I thought at the time was brilliant.
I agree. I mean, when I read the script, I thought, well, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I think we had a lot of fun with it. Sometimes, though, I think it went over a lot of people's heads, and they really thought we were a band, because we had really good songs. It's just if you listen to the lyrics, you would know they were a joke. Like I know my calculus. It says you plus me equals us. I mean, that's kind of that's a silly lyric, And the hardest part of breaking up is getting back your stuff, which is a good lyric too. But I think a lot of people thought they were real, and that's where we treaded that line of real boy band and fake boy band and comedy boy band. It was weird, but it was fun. I had a good time.
And you guys toured a little bit, if I recall.
Yeah.
So how would that work out? You would have a backing track, and you're just like, well, I guess I'm going to dance like I'm in a boy band in front of 20,000 people.
We had a whole choreographer. We had a sitcom. So this guy Bradley, who was our choreographer, and every sitcom episode we had a song and a dance, kind of like the Partridge Family or something. And so we had a lot of good choreography. We worked hard on it. But we toured with Britney Spears, but we were in the parking lot of the Britney Spears concert. Yeah. And we performed on a bunch of hay bales. So we weren't really with Britney Spears, but we were in the parking lot of Britney Spears.
So how does this deal work? Your agent comes to you. And by the way, also I thought it was funny that, in most of the boy bands, they do have an older guy who, brother or not, kind of takes on the older brother role.
Right.
And I remember as a kid being like, man, it's weird. That guy is like 31.
Yeah.
But you were 35 at the time that they made you the older brother. And this is not a shot, but you're Kevin Farley. So it was very funny to me because, like, the old guy in the boy bands is still like a hot, strapping guy. But when they made the parody boy band, they got you at 35. It was a very funny image to me that you were part of that choreography.
Yeah, I think what I did is I auditioned and I thought I had a decent voice and sort of did. And then the funny thing is they put me in braces to sort of young me up a little bit. And they gave me a young kid's kind of chronic disease, which I think was rubella. And so I had, braces and rubella. So it kind of, even though I was 35, I had youthful things attached to it.
And so when you get that role, I mean, I don't know what the industry's like then versus now, but you're signing up. Are you signing up at that time to go perform on bales of hay outside of Britney Spears' show? I mean, it's a very unique job.
Yeah, well, MTV was going to do their first movie when they hired us, and that was the first movie MTV ever did. So we went up to Vancouver and filmed this movie, and that's where it started. And then they brought us in and they said, we're going to do a sitcom up in Vancouver. So right after that, we did the sitcom. And then we toured, but the tour wasn't that big of a deal. It was basically that hay bale show and a couple other shows. And then, we just fell off. Well, unfortunately, Mike Cuccione, who was 16 years old, died of cancer, and that sort of put an end. It's pretty dark, turned pretty dark there. But yeah, that was the basic up and down, making of the band episode of Together. But, we had 2 albums that went gold, I mean, we did pretty well. You can get those albums, I think.
How does that work out back end wise? Do you still get any you plus me equals us money?
Not at all. No, we got a deal. One of those deals that most boy bands get, which is like, here's $3,500, but we get the rest, that kind of thing.
So
but
I've
at
heard.
the time, $3,500. Yeah.
Like, did you ever actually interact with Britney?
No. No, I don't think we did. I think people got pissed at us because we were making fun of them.
That's what I was going to ask you about, is if you had any interaction with the actual members of those bands or their circles or whatever, because part of the reason I liked you was because you were making fun of it.
Well, the NSYNC guys had a good sense of humor about it.
And not so much the others?
Backstreet Boys, no, not at all. No, but I think LFO, like this, or who was it, 96 Degrees, they seem to have a decent, I didn't really talk to those guys, but NSYNC, they were really down with it. They liked it. They were fun.
That's interesting. So when did you start doing stand-up? Is that the first love?
No, what I did was went into Second City, which followed my brother down to Second City in Chicago, and I was an improviser for a long time. But improv, you don't really make any money at improv. It's sort of a love of the art, and I really loved it. And I did that for a long time, and then I would do a lot of sitcoms and acting and this and that, living in LA for a long time. And I was just in many movies, and then I decided that I wanted to start doing stand-up, so I would go to the Comedy Store. This was like 2009 or 10, probably 2009. I would start going to the Comedy Store and, just working out my sets. And then Norm Macdonald, who's a good friend of mine, asked me to go on the road with him. And David Spade asked me to go on the road with him. So I learned a lot from those guys, and I'd open up for those guys. And that's kind of where I started doing it, and I've been doing it ever since,
Is that rough to open for guys who are already like awesome, and then the bar is raised kind of?
Not really, because you don't want a guy doing really well in front of you, and that's sort of the thing inside baseball is stand up. I don't want to follow a guy that's really bringing it or really good. That way, I look better.
Okay, so remember that this weekend when you go to Hyenas.
Yeah.
Whoever.
I mean, sometimes you get there's a lot of guys at Hyenas that are really good, and it's fine if you want to be, but
you're upset.
At the time, huh?
Yeah, that will upset you. That will piss off Kevin Farley this weekend if you're too good.
It won't piss me off. It's just that it's hard, when a guy's like really, really good. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta really bring it,
No, that's what I
would bring it, but puts the pressure on,
That's why I do the first segment of the show.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I have noticed that. So 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday at Hyenas in Dallas, hyenascomedynightclub.com. That's interesting. We recently talked to Jeremy Piven, and he is in the stand-up game now. And I went to go see him, and while it was entertaining, his situation is sort of unique because he's basically up there doing Ari, and he recounts life stories, and I think he has a love for the craft, but it's not really a stand-up show. Whereas you have but also people do associate with your brother, who I don't really recall ever doing stand-up. So how would you describe your act?
Yeah, I don't have a persona on television like an Ari or anything. And I don't have any kind of real character besides maybe Together, but I don't know, people remember that. But so I kind of come with a clean slate in a lot of ways other than my name. So I can pretty much create a stand-up routine or an act that's sort of generated on my own. And I don't have to compete with a huge character like Jeremy does or anybody else that comes from television, and people are just kind of have that in their head, when they see him.
But in a way, with your name, are you competing against Chris?
Oh no! I mean, there's no way I don't do that. I think after, I don't know. I guess he's been dead 30 years. I think. I've been doing it so long. I'm not really like Chris in a lot of ways. I'm sort of more, sort of not low energy. I'm not going to jump on any tables, Yeah, no, I don't have the bombastic energy that he did. We're pretty different in that way, but I think I have some of the mannerisms and the motions that the Farley family, which came from my father, pretty much, and. So I think people they see that when I do the show, and but I think they're not really expecting me to be as bombastic on stage as Chris,
Yeah, I guess that just like like you said, it's an expectation when you walk in. hey, I'm going to go see this because it's Kevin Farley. I know Chris Farley.
Right.
And now I guess I don't know what to expect, but that's where I thought maybe there's that competition in a way, like I have to be good enough that they're not really disappointed that Kevin Farley wasn't really funny like Chris. So you have to win them over in your own way, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't really compete with anyone on stage. I just try to be myself. I don't go in there going, I got to compete with Chris or something like that. I actually have never thought about that. And I think a lot of people after my shows, they, used to come up to me and go, sometimes they do that, but I don't think about that in my head. I've never ever thought about that I'm in competition with Chris. It seems strange to me, but, no, that had never occurred to me.
All right. Well,
I just don't.
Yeah, 2 shows this weekend at Hyenas in Dallas, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. You fired up for the NFL draft?
It's funny, the draft. I mean, when I was growing up, the draft was never really that big of a deal. Boy, that shows you how big the NFL is. Like, all right, we're at the draft, and then the combine was just a bunch of guys running. And I guess we're looking at that now. I mean, I don't care. The draft, sure, I'll watch it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why everybody's so into that, but I mean, I'll watch it, yeah. But
you live
only
out
because
you live out in LA?
Huh?
I'm sorry, you live out in LA?
No, I live in Florida now.
Florida, okay.
Get away from those libs.
I lived in LA for 20 years, and it's like, if you ask me what I did, I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I forgot that I was there, but I guess I was there for 20 years. I don't remember. But yeah, no, Florida's great. It's, a lot of bugs, but I like it, Yeah, it's fun.
I just didn't know if you had any, I guess people from LA, I want their thoughts on stealing my favorite basketball player in the world.
We're gone.
Yeah, so you're pretty familiar with that story?
I just know that he got traded from the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if there's any backstory or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just that he's great, and the guy that traded him sucks, and we're all very sad.
Well, you got Anthony. Didn't you get Anthony?
Exactly.
That's all they got.
All right, Kevin, thanks for your time, man. 2 shows this weekend at Hyenas. We'll see you there.
Oh, come on out. We always have a good time at Hyenas. So I got 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Can't wait.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Okay.
See you guys.
The great Kevin Farley. And, it looks like we're going to do the news. And this is a kind of a straight-up sponsor brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Did you see what I did on there today?
I did.
Yeah, I actually put in a bet for this weekend. So Underdog Fantasy Sports, it's like you pick 2 different players, and then it'll have an over-under listed next to them on different stats. And you're just trying to pick the over or the under on certain stats, and then it's kind of like a little parlay thing. You could
multiplier.
You could take 5, 10 different players, and then you win more with each one. But I went with just 2. Luka versus Anthony Edwards. For those who try to tell me that Anthony Edwards is anywhere near Luka, well, certainly the odds makers don't think so. He's at home. His over-under for points, rebounds, and assists is 37.5. I went under. Luka's 45.5, and I went over. So another reason to root for Luka.
That's right. Go do your rage wagering with the Underdog. Ragering. With the Underdog app. Sign up now using the promo code TMD to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That is TMD. The Underdog app. It's very simple, very, very straightforward, and it's fun to play. So yeah, you're gonna already be in spite mode. Make a little money on it with Underdog Fantasy.
Here's Jay with the Dumb Zone News.
I don't know if we even need to keep updating the story, but Austin Metcalf's family was targeted by another swatting call. 3rd time.
This is the white kid who was stabbed to death by the black kid? That's
Yeah.
who you're talking about?
Yeah, his family.
In Frisco or wherever? Where is it?
Frisco.
All right.
Third time.
What does that mean? What did they do?
Someone calls and says there is a shooter. This one, they don't have any information about the origin of the call. The other two, they responded to a call about a gunshot at a home. And the cops show up, not guns blazing, but guns prepared. And, people have died from this. Very weird loophole in our society. Where it's like, we need to be able to respond to stuff quickly and like everything is real.
Is this a boy who cried wolf thing?
Yeah.
Like at some point, do they stop going?
Well, and that's the thing is that at this scale, they don't usually stop going. They just keep wasting money on it, and eventually somebody gets hurt.
What if they just would it be cheaper if the police department just installed like a Ring doorbell cam on a light pole outside, and then when they call, they'll be like, well, no, there's nothing there.
Not bad.
Because that would only cost like $50 or something, right? $100.
I don't know what's going to happen next with this story. It feels volatile because the way that these things happen, they have like this really long life cycle, right? Think of like Amber Geiger. Well, we're however long away from the trial. That'll bring it all back up again. It'll be all anybody's talking about. Then you get a sentencing.
Appeal.
Yeah, and over the weekend there was some like white lives or white pride rally where some online rabble-rouser tried to he did get on the track on the field where the murder happened, and he's being apprehended by the cops, and he's on the phone, on speakerphone, on live stream with Metcalf's father, who's telling him to chill out, and he's like,
I saw that.
It's insane.
First of all, there wasn't a lot of. You call it a rally.
There wasn't a lot.
There was like
I don't know how many
five
people were watching
there.
online, but none in person.
But then he's doing his online thing. Yes, the father. So he is interviewing the father of the kid that was killed. And the father is like, look, I don't want you guys mentioning my son with your cause. I don't want you guys doing this at all. You are not speaking for us. And then these guys started yelling at him like, yeah, you're weak. You're just weak. You don't understand the struggle of the white man. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's
crazy. What are we doing here? And that's the thing. That's what online, I think, tends to you get those online muscles and things seem bigger. Whereas then when you go look at the rally, it's actually that guy and 5 of his friends. Then that's all the rally was. Like people weren't showing up. But you'll get some numbers online, and then it's like, oh, look at all the people who are into this.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
A woman, a Houston area realtor, was murdered in downtown Dallas. Her family spoke to Fox 4 over the last couple days for the first time. 28-year-old Ashley Long. So she was visiting from Houston, leaves a Dallas bar at 2 a.m., and he just kind of I'll just read it through the police report. A man Long was with reached out and brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes. The passenger of that car, later identified by detectives as a 34-year-old Kendrick Finch, exited the Mercedes with a gun in his hand. So what we're talking about is he's like walking with her, some guy. A car drives by, and he gives like a signal. Like the car drives by, and this guy just kind of reach out, touches the passenger side of this passing Mercedes. That car exits with a gun and get her in the car.
I don't get it.
Wait, hold on. I think I have this story wrong. That did happen. So the man that was with her reached into her purse, pulled out his gun, and then this guy started shooting. Yeah. So I had it right, but backward. This guy is walking with her. He's a guy. He's with her. This car passes by, and I'm just boofing this story. It's so confusing.
Did you look at it before?
I did look at it before, but I mean, yeah, it's just it's confusing. I'm just going to read the story. The woman, her name is Long. Police say a man Long was with reached out and brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes. The passenger of that car, later identified as a 34-year-old man, exited the Mercedes with a gun in his hand. The man that was with the woman reached into her purse, pulled out his gun. That's when the man who had exited the vehicle opens fire.
Okay, so there's no connection.
No.
It wasn't a hit or anything.
It wasn't a hit.
That's
but
what I
it
was thinking at
yeah.
first. Okay,
This
so
guy was mad that
the
his
guy
car-
was mad because he touched their car.
That's what I thought at first when I read it like that, but it's that.
Oh.
And it's also confusing because it says he got his gun out of her purse.
Right.
And it was throwing me off, so
But
I guess it was
sometimes, you
gay.
know, you have your wife carry
I guess
your
that's
phone or something.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that common? Like what I do, I don't really like keeping stuff on my phone, so I'll just be like, hey, will you hold my wallet when we go to dinner? Does people just put their guns in their girlfriend's bag?
They
in
must,
their
right?
purse?
If you can't carry it around. Can't open carry it unless you strap it on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a few hours after the shooting, the assailant, the guy that got out of the car and shot, called police and told them it was him. But he didn't actually turn himself in until they put out the call on social media. And they put out the call on social media because there was a video on something very similar to Dallas, Texas TV. I think we talked about it the other day. The account Smash the Topic had posted a video of the incident. And that's how they got the guy. So we sometimes think about, like, man, I wonder, what does Dallas, Texas TV, like, what does the police department think of them?
They gotta love them.
They probably love them.
Or are they just releasing videos that they already have? Like, do they already have access to all this stuff, and this guy is just making it public?
You know, I bet a lot of it they do, but I've told you before, like, I've had Fort Worth PD call me after a 1:30 news segment or email me and say, like, hey, you referenced having a video of this incident off West 7th. You know, we need to get it.
Did you ever have a cop ask you for your Ring doorbell video? I had somebody stop by once because there was like a series of thefts in the neighborhood. So they're like, how long does this video go?
I've not.
Yeah.
I've asked.
What do you mean?
Like
You've asked neighbors?
My father-in-law got his tools stolen last time he was in town. Which he left him in a tough spot. He knows he took the L on it, but we had to at least go ask the neighbors.
Performatively?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Like you knew you're never getting it back?
Yeah, and he was like, I'm going to go drive around. I'm like, man, you want to talk about a rage quit move. Like, there's no chance, bro. Like, he just kind of drove around the block for about the next hour. I'm like, it's not happening.
Because tools are expensive, right? You get a big toolbox.
Oh, it was not. And he was like helping us remodel. It was everything.
A nice air tag in the bottom of the tool.
Ooh,
the toolbox. I'm just air tagging everything, bro. It's great.
Yeah, ever since
air tag my dogs.
Oh, Steve Noviello said he air tagged his kids.
Yeah, on off-campus trips. This last one comes to us from Tyler, Texas. Dan,
I've been there.
She was preparing for the Jones Elementary end-of-year party, and she purchased Jello shots on Facebook. And
Not
said
knowing?
that she didn't know that there was vodka in them. Which just seems impossible to me because one just...
How naive do you have to be?
No one just makes Jello into little shot buckets of mini Jello.
How do you buy them on Facebook already made? Is the Jello's already made?
There are places that can do that. Like if you have a little, maybe like a little daiquiri stand or something, you can sell bulk Jello shots. But you have to go to a place that only sells alcohol to get it. Or even if they're homemade. Did you not have a question about the price? Like why these were $1 each when a thing of Jello is $1 itself?
Because of the
inflation
and the time spent making it and stuff. You're paying for that.
Tariffs.
You know how much Jello costs from China?
Some teachers found it odd for the parent to serve Jello shots, but told the school resource officer that the parent was involved in school events, so they trusted she wouldn't serve alcohol.
So the kids were all eating little squares of Jello and got effed up?
Yeah, I mean, if you had a Jello shot, like, when's the last time you put your hands on one? It's just, it's like a small salsa thing, plastic container that you would get at Rosa's or wherever.
No, you know what a Jello shot is?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a shot glass.
It just slides out.
Yeah.
Right. So
You got to finger it, though.
you do kind of have to scoop it, give it the little scoop.
But I'm just saying.
They had that.
They just had those lined up for elementary school kids?
Yeah. All but 4 children had to go to the nurse.
I shouldn't laugh.
One student passed out at home. Another one threw up twice at school. 2 teachers.
Because they're pounding them.
Of course they are.
One got a DUI on his bike ride home.
You go home and spend like $25,000, blow your college fund on
Fortnite.
Switch or something.
If you
on
were
accident.
to do one of 2 elementary school crimes, this or have sex with the elementary school kid.
Holy, yeah. It's not even like no one is debating which one of those is worse.
You'd rather do this one.
Yeah, like everyone.
Okay, so just remember that next time your kid comes home drunk,
right?
Be like, at least the teacher didn't have sex with
the
her.
power of positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the 2 teachers there tasted the Jello shots and they're like, yeah, this is Everclear. They reported, this is funny, 2 teachers tasted the Jello shot. They thought it tasted like alcohol. They reported this to a superior who also went to taste the Jello.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get to the bottom of this.
We've all wanted to do that.
You sure that's cocaine?
Yeah, test the drugs.
Let me see.
Just doing a Smirnoff numbie. Smirnoff Tito's. But I honestly wouldn't make Jello shots with Tito's. I want to be very clear about that. That's a trash game.
Jello shots is a trash game?
Yeah, dude. That's for like an outdoor situation.
Do you ever do like grain alcohol and you soak
watermelon?
Yeah, just soak fruit in it all overnight.
Dude.
And
if you could have seen, where I went to college, we would go float the river, right? Well, that required getting on a bus, a school bus, an old, like the Bang bus that Letty has, and riding that bus from where you get into the parking lot to where you drop off. And there would just be some guy, probably 25, and he would just have a bucket of that watermelon up there, and he was driving the bus and eating it all day. Just driving through back roads, hammered, in this bus full of college kids with tubes, and he'd just be like laughing, munching on this watermelon. It's insane.
Jello shots or the lady who left her gummies out. Remember?
There was a teacher's. It was like at a preschool.
Yeah.
I think
she got serious time.
Serious time.
Well, and she didn't. Nobody ate them, right? Or did they?
Oh, they
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got serious time. Like 1 count of child endangerment for each gummy or something crazy. And both very bad, but one of them way more likely to kill you.
The Jello shots?
Not even close. Like, I guess you could have like a
But I'll bet you they don't.
No.
Well, what color is this lady, too?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because didn't they? It was the black lady that
lady,
left
yeah.
her gummies out.
Yeah.
But no, this is way, way worse. They're lucky someone didn't get hurt worse. All right, there's your news.
Okay.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
Do you want to join us for this, Josh Ewan?
Okay, all right.
This is brought to us by Frankel & Frankel Personal Injury Attorneys. You know what? They don't like the fact that they exist.
3.
In a perfect world, they wouldn't have to.
You know, if insurance companies were like just cool, like, oh my gosh, the guy who had insurance got in an accident with you and you got injured. That's terrible.
Our bad.
You need a little physical therapy after that accident.
Yeah, let's pay for it. We'll take care of it. No, but they don't. That's the thing. So Frankel, like, reluctantly, they're like, all right, we're going to step in here. you need a voice, and we're going to be the ones to be that voice. We will fight them for you. We'll get you what you deserve. That's all they do at Frankel and Frankel.
That's
They're
right.
going to be your big toe.
Exactly right. Check them out, 214-817-333-3333. Look, the world needs heroes, okay? Frankel and Frankel understands that. So, personal injury attorneys, the Frankels, 214-817-333-3333.
So we're at a sit-in on the road today with Josh Ewan. We've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll
get a
more,
roadie?
We'll get more into your scene during closing remarks. But if you wanted to chime in on this, feel free. If you don't, then do whatever you want. This is your thing. So we have some viewer mail birthdays. Just a couple at last check. Let's see if any others have trickled in. We have Voyager of the Venusian Valley. Familiar with that? Please wish my coworker Brandon happy birthday. Day 2 DF, all-around good guy. Or it says all-around good gay. I don't know if that's a misprint or he's trying to be funny. His heroes are Convenience Store Romance Dan, Run the Ball Blake, and High Tea Leather Jacket Jake before he got cucked and went to the Hab.
Ooh.
We'd like a follow-up epi with the guy with 2 wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his initial interview, rather than being doubly beat down, he was unexpectedly positive. Would like to hear the rest of the story and see pics.
I have a pic.
We also look forward to the upcoming Bad Beat confession involving Jake, Fairy Smut, a Dark Knight superhero T-shirt, and Airbnb couch with Blake catching him in at the 90%.
Lot going on
very
there.
Confusing.
Can I play you some audio real quick that I forgot about?
More Beehive Productions.
Oh, he wasn't done.
More hypotheticals. If you ever want to discuss the finer points of project planning and control, earned value management, or working capital days, Brandon is your guy from Fat Russell Crowe. What do we got?
Just wanted to play this real quick. There's the A's have a new player.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't heard the first one yet. Let's see.
1-2, bouncing ball, through for a base hit. Rounding third is Langoliers. He will score. Nick Kurtz, welcome to Major League Baseball.
Okay, I think they did a decent job there.
Yeah, they were warned.
Because the story yesterday was they were warned.
I think that was ball sacked.
It probably was.
Yeah, they weren't warned.
But I do want to keep track of it throughout the year.
Nick Kurtz.
Yeah.
Nick
It's not as bad as the name of Steve Kerr's kid.
is Nick.
It is.
Nick
His
Kerr.
name is Nick Kerr. What a cruel life. It's a handsome one.
Also, happy 27th birthday shout out to my son, Sam Schindler.
Ooh.
Leaders are non-alcoholic Jake and Run the Ball Blake. More Sarah Hepala, but only if she fires that shirt off. More Jasmine, more Roast Twins. Sam's goal is to be the first band that the Roast Twins cannot roast because they will actually love their music. A punk band in Denton called The Deep End.
Doesn't exist.
Oh, buddy.
It's loud stuff that young people with nose rings seem to enjoy. P.S. As a fan of Elite Rides DFW, one huge selling point is that you seem to skip is that they have a limo license, which means it's perfectly fine to enjoy alcoholic beverages while they drive you to.
All right.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. Now that is elite.
That's from Rob Schindler.
Our guy.
Good dude. Can't believe he has a 20. He does look way younger than he must be. Or he just had a kid when he was 13.
He looks like the type of guy who could have got somebody pregnant when he was 13.
Yeah.
Totes.
You know what I mean. Do you guys all remember the name? Maybe you in my case, I haven't thought of really or talked to him in 25 to 30 years, but do you guys remember the kids that you went to junior high with who had the biggest dicks?
Yeah, because you saw him.
I know, but I'm saying, do you remember, like right now, is there a name?
Yeah.
And almost even an image where you can be like, I remember that guy's ginormous 11-year-old cock.
Yeah.
And you'll be 40, you'll be 80, and you'll still be like, how did Bruce in 5th grade have a penis that large?
Yeah. I can picture it right now.
Yeah, so can I.
Just flopping around, walking around. Yeah. Just so afraid it's going to be on your face at some point.
Yes, afraid.
Oh, no, he's hazing me.
Don't haze
Hazer.
me. Hey, I'm a freshman, though. I'm all these other guys.
No, dude, you're just on the freshman team. You're 18. Stop trying to get slapped.
Today's celebrity birthdays start with YouTube weatherman Frankie McDonald is 40.
Cool. Good for him.
Cool indeed. John Wiley Price, 75.
Your man downtown. You would love JWP, Heart Attack Man.
Is that right?
Just your.
What is he up to?
Classic wrong side of the tracks congressman who's dirty as hell and like won an election in jail.
He was
Nice.
Clay Davis.
He was
right?
Clay. Yeah, it's just that he's got a excursion vehicle with his name on the side of it real big. It's great.
Sam Hurd, 40.
Whoa.
Wow.
Honestly, probably had some dealings with John Wiley Price. That was a crazy story, man.
Is he in the clink?
Dude, I think he's right. He's either out or very close to it. Let's see.
Does he want to watch the draft with us?
I remember
He got out. Got out in February of 2023.
he was kind of T.O.'s guy. I remember in training camp when Sam Hurd was a rookie.
Yeah, like I see a lot
T.O.
of them.
took him under his wing.
Let's book him.
Let's book Sam Hurd for sure.
Damn it. I had another story today I meant to get to. We got tomorrow. Because there's another guy I want to book. Charlie Ward.
The Heisman winner
Yeah.
and New York Nick.
Yes. Because currently the Warriors, or whatever, are you aware of Pat Spencer?
Who? Pat Spencer? No.
So the Warriors have a guy who's 28 years old who gets minutes in the playoffs. Like he had a two-way converted at the end of the year. This is a white guy who is 6'3", 205. He's about 10 pounds of muscle away from me. He has a mustache. He played basketball in high school and then not again for 4 years in college, where he was the top-ranked lacrosse player in the country. With his 1 year of grad eligibility, he went back and played basketball for 1 year at Northwestern and had, like, okay numbers. And he's in the NBA now.
And he's only like 6'3"?
Dude,
Not like because
he's 6'3", 205. He's got a mustache. He looks like any guy that you would see at one of our events. He's not particularly quick.
Is his uncle a GM or something?
I can't figure it out, but he was the number one ranked college lacrosse player. But didn't play basketball in college until his 5th year.
Is this your news story that you want to do tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, that's what made me think of Charlie Ward. Like somebody said, you know.
Oh, okay.
But at least he played basketball.
I'm glad we got it out of the way today.
This is a top-ranked.
So you did the story?
This is a top-ranked white. I want to know more about it. I'd love to know how this happens.
So by tomorrow, we might know more.
Just do what's next. I'm just trying to tell you guys interesting stuff, and everybody's being an asshole
But you
about
teased
it.
it for tomorrow. I didn't.
Tease? What are you, cat? Like we
Oh.
gotta follow some rules of how to win and how to talk about things.
We do need to increase our TSL.
I just thought it was interesting.
Jerry Jeudy, 26.
Judy.
Where is he currently?
I know.
Cleveland?
Okay.
He's a current Cleveland Brown.
He had one big game, right?
He had a good year.
Was it a good year overall? I don't.
He had like 1,200 yards.
One good
Russell
game
Wilson.
is a good year for the Cleveland Browns.
Who we picking tonight? Is it Travis Hunter?
They say Travis Hunter.
Why don't we go to this guy for reaction
Tonight?
We call Rose.
What are you doing tonight?
Yeah, you want to jump on the screen?
I'll be around.
We'll get him and Rose on. See what they think.
Oh, hey.
You're not willing to go with me in the fact that this guy is in the NBA in the playoffs right now is an insane accomplishment for a white.
Yeah,
Like,
the story you told sounded crazy.
There's got to be more.
Tune in tomorrow.
Possibly,
for more.
I swear to God.
Amazing stories of white people.
Watch our subscriber count just go through the roof. They got to hear the episode
I'm
tomorrow.
going to book this motherfucker and dunk on y'all's heads, which I'm not sure he can do.
Former Ranger Carlos Beltran is 48. Do you know he was a Ranger?
Yeah.
One
For
year,
52,
2 years.
52 games.
I didn't like that.
Former Ranger Omar Vizquel is 58. Played 62 games for the Rangers.
Yeah, I forgot about him too.
I think he helped Elvis along early
Yeah.
in his career.
Yeah.
Chipper Jones, 53.
Didn't help him hit.
Barbara Streisand is 83.
Babada.
I believe she has cloned dogs.
Yeah.
Mecca Streisand.
That's actually the Streisand effect.
Great reference.
Allows you to
Ham.
close your dog.
Eric Bogosian is 72.
Oh, yeah.
Talk radio.
Talk radio and Uncut Gems, which may be my favorite movie.
Who is he in Uncut Gems?
I mean, he's like the guys that he's dealing with, that he's trying to...
He was a politician in something. Nothing you watched? Do you know who he is?
No.
Like, I can't remember if it was the morning show. It was in something I was really stoked on in the last few years. He played a presidential candidate.
Billions.
Stranger Things.
Oh, is it Billions?
Yeah, remember? Succession. He was Bernie Sanders in Succession. Gil or something? Yeah.
Yes. Michael O'Keefe is 70.
Michael O'Keefe?
That's Danny in Caddyshack.
Do you take drugs, Danny?
Every day. Glenn Morshower is 66. He was on 24. Cedric the Entertainer is 61. Aidan Gillen is 57. You know him from Game of Thrones and The Wire. I think that's Carcetti.
Yeah.
Or Carcetti.
Who was he in Game of Thrones?
Littlefinger.
Wow. Okay.
Rory McCann is 56. The Hound in Game of Thrones. Joe Keery is 33. You guys know him. That's Steve from Stranger Things.
God
Worked in the ice
bless it,
cream
dude.
shop.
Are we still doing it?
He's awesome.
Are
Steve's a
they
great
making
character.
another season?
I believe so. I think the final.
Good God. You fired up?
It's about time for you to get in.
Yeah, get caught up.
Alexis Ohanian.
Are they not having to cover, like, receiving 30 hours of AOL in the mail for free yet? Like, where are they culturally? They can't still be it.
They're waiting in line for gas.
I think the hostages in Iran end up going to the underground world.
Enough already.
And 8 has to try to get him out.
11 meets Elian Gonzalez in a very special episode of Stranger
Yeah, the
Things.
well girl. 11 helped the girl out of the well, the baby Jessica.
Made her some waffles.
Alexis Ohanian is 42. That's a man named Alexis.
Oh, I think I know. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Founder of Reddit.
Founder of Reddit.
Wow.
And Serena's husband.
That's right.
Dude, while we're on the topic of all-time putting up numbers whites.
That's a good one.
That's got to be a good one.
You know, girls, even girls with money, like guys with money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't need the money. How about she just marries one of us? No. For some reason.
Boy, when she
what's funny?
gets it moving, it must be something to watch.
Oh, my God. Dude, no. I mean, think about it. Like, Mackenzie Bezos tried this. She's like, I got all the money in the world. I don't need it. I'm just going to be with a guy who's a good dude.
Such a
and she was
dork.
around his broke ass for like 18 months and was like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Again, would you, a teacher? Okay.
Phil Robertson is 79.
Duck Dynasty
Back-to-back
again?
days.
Duck Dynasty. Says here, homophobic comments. Which I'm appalled.
He's the one who was
the guy from Duck Dynasty?
He's the impetus of the Bill Burr bit, where he's talking about Donald Sterling, and then he gets into that. He's like, "What? You went and found this guy in a boat in a marsh in Louisiana at like 75?" And you're like, "He's against gay marriage." Shocking.
Was this the quarterback?
They did have one that played it like Ulamon, but it's not the one
La-
who's 79 today.
No, the reason I remember is he played at La Tech and he beat out Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
this might be him then.
Wow.
Interesting. Microphone?
Oh, other way around.
Let's look it up.
Kelly Clarkson, 43.
What, do
Drummer.
you not have a comment on her?
I don't know anything about her.
I just think your general position that we're accepting famous women to just kind of keep growing.
Oh, is she real fat?
Physically.
Yeah, she was.
I'm not against fat, dude.
She was a skinny hot on Idol. Then she got fat, and everyone's like, "Why are you fat?" And she's like, "I like being fat." And now she's just a fat girl.
It's Elaine.
Yeah, trust me.
So when you see pictures
I'll pay
of
to
her,
park in the
it's
lane.
probably
Know what I'm
from
saying?
when she puts pictures in the profile, it's probably from the neck up.
Collarbones up.
Drummer Doug Clifford is 80. You know what he loves? Day like today.
CCR?
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. Credence. Loves some rain.
Yeah, this does feel like like a Creedence.
Doesn't it feel
day.
like playing a little Credence on the drive home today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to crank some Fortunate Son on the way home.
Then you got the windshield wipers like go perfectly with the song. Like that's how they've timed up each one of their songs.
That's
their metronome.
I had the idea for the product, the app, many years ago. That you should be able to easily sync that.
Your windshield wipers
Yeah.
with whatever song is playing.
And your blinker.
That's a great idea.
It should just be exactly like what's the deal where you hum the tone and you figure it out.
Shazam.
They should have that basically. But anytime you're listening to something, it syncs up to the beats per minute of your.
That's a great one.
I know.
Yeah, I do think I am a kind of a dork that I'll wait to turn the blinker on when the beat drops.
I know, but sometimes it doesn't time out because there's
No, it's a
the
little
tempo's
off,
off a
little
little
tiny bit, but yeah.
With my product.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks, man. Full of them.
Musician Patty Schemmel is 58 from Hole. They were on a tour. Who'd they open for?
Probably Bush. Korn.
There you go.
Hole. This woman looks exactly.
Hole and Bush are both openers, by the way.
This woman looks exactly like Nancy Pelosi.
Patty Schemmel.
Yeah, look it up.
Up tops.
And Jack Quaid is 33. That's our feature birthday of the day. Beating out Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. Jack Quaid. Huey from The Boys. Remember, you're going to be hearing a lot about Jack Quaid for the rest of your life.
He looks like it.
Because I think he's...
I did like the last episode where the Hulk couldn't turn a different color after they traded his favorite basketball player. He was just constantly green and he couldn't get it.
He started turning purple.
Yeah, no. Mine, it's super weird. Mine was just at the end where that sort of ancillary character found out that he's part of the 86% that own well can save money on their property taxes, offering a rare moment of resolution in this show full of conflict.
I know this is big fun and games. I'm just trying to help you guys. I'm trying
So
to
is
give you a
Ownwell.
good show.
So is Ownwell.
Good entertainment, something that you can do a little escaping the regular world's problems.
The weirdest was when Batman's son became an incel and did a school shooting.
Oh, that was a little dark.
Or when the Riddler took credit for the tariffs.
The Riddler, classic superhero.
Born on this day, now dead, Robert Thomas. He was the founder of the Farmer's Almanac.
Oh, so smooth, right?
When do you think he was alive? Any year?
Oh,
buddy.
my goodness.
That's
When
a
did
pretty,
they-
so I don't know. That's like a pretty Gentile. Like that feels like an American name.
When did they invent the Farmer's Almanac?
But then it seems very.
Give me 1850.
I'm gonna say 1710.
He was alive from 1766 to 1846.
Okay, not bad.
So no one really got it, but you're nibbling around.
Well,
the
I
edges.
was thinking that.
It's kind of
And,
funny to me just to imagine a guy in 1780 being named Rob Thomas. It just doesn't.
Robert Thomas, former Cowboy linebacker.
There you go.
And born on this day, now dead, Richard Donner, the director of the original Superman.
and he ate all those. They ate all those people on the airplane.
Speaking of,
That's right. The Donner Party.
That Superman documentary that came out and you watched it, right? We talked about it a little bit, but I don't remember if it was just a trailer.
Yeah, I think I watched it after.
How about that Pee-wee doc coming up is pretty timely for us.
I did see the Pee-wee doc.
I'll watch it.
When's it drop?
Next month on HBO.
Okay, I'm very fired up.
I'm sure the
big Pee-wee fan.
I'm sure Hulu is rolling the Varney one out any day now.
It's a behind the scenes of Ernest Goes to Africa.
Yeah, no. Vern.
Kind of a deep dive.
Vern, like you've never heard him before.
Know what I mean, Vern? Dead on this day, still dead. Estee Lauder. That's a person, apparently.
And I learned that at 2:06.
Cosmetics entrepreneur, it says here.
24th.
And Robert Persig, the author of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Heard of it, but I never.
Okay.
Is that a good book?
It is.
Is it?
I read it as a young man.
Is it? It's about larger themes in life, I assume.
Indeed.
Okay.
You got to keep your motorcycle maintained, bro.
Kind of feels like
gay.
No, well, yeah, maybe, but it just kind of feels like Jordan Peterson before Jordan Peterson. You familiar with his work? Heart Attack? No. Like, clean your bed in the morning.
And that was today in history.
He's the guy that says make your bed first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you tonight.
Well, that is today
Go
in history.
Browns.
That's right. Tonight, our live stream, we'll have some Lone Star beer there. Want to remind you can actually get some merch at lonestarbeer.com. Dumbzone21 is the promo code for 21% off. But this is now closing remarks, and we've been here before at this home of Josh Ewan, which is, we understand, kind of at least financially set up by the wife, right?
Yeah, I'm stay-at-home.
You're a stay-at-home.
With no kids. So,
I went on to say stay-at-home dad. Yeah, you're a stay-at-home husband.
Husband, yeah.
And this is brought to us by our trip out to the Byron Nelson.
You're stay-at-home. What do you got May 2nd?
No, I'm going to listen to y'all at the Byron Nelson.
Well, you're booked, right? The fun is Friday, May 2nd, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson with the Dumb Zone and the Mom Games. Roy's will be out there as well, live from the 17th hole. That's 1 to 4. Thanks to Tito's Handmade Vodka. Bring your crew and experience world-class golf as the pros take on TPC Craig Ranch. That's May 1 through 4. The tournament has it all: incredible food, cold drinks, and an unbeatable atmosphere. Soak up the sun, make some memories, and catch every swing with us at one of the most exciting stops on the PGA Tour. Tickets are on sale now at www.thecjcupbyronnelson.org. Kids under 15 free with an adult. Do not miss out. Tito's Handmade Vodka is an official sponsor of the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Stop by this Tito's Clubhouse at the 17th hole. Raise a Tito's transfusion to your day on the green. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. We'll see you there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
So, yeah, we're in Fort Worth. We were here a year ago, and I do have memories. I remember last year, it feels like there was a cat attacking us.
Yes.
I don't remember it attacking
There's
me.
a cat. I have a cat that was aggressive, and my brother-in-law couldn't keep it, so then they were going to basically put it down, so I said, I'll keep it, and I basically trained it to not be insane, but it's still a little crazy.
But I haven't seen it today.
It's the storm. It's scared of the storm. It's hiding under a bed right now. It's the only reason it's not out here being a pain. It came out here when y'all were talking to Kevin earlier. It peeked out for a second. Must have liked his voice, and then it was like back out.
Okay.
When the thunder started.
What a difference a year makes. The last time we were here, the Mavs were up 3-0 on the Timberwolves.
Yes, about to say. Yeah, it was the peak. I've thought about it. It was the peak. It was Luka's peak in hindsight. They were up 3-0. He had freaking clowned Gobert.
Yes.
And then that was I didn't realize at the time, but that was the best moment I guess I'm gonna get with Luka.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh has like the Luka shrine. He's got like 6-7 pairs of Luka like in a case. He's got the Funko doll, the bobbleheads, the candle, the jerseys.
People just started giving me Luka stuff as the default, instead of Cowboy stuff. People know that I love Luka and would just give me Luka stuff for Christmas, birthdays. We don't have to talk about Luka.
Are you a Mavs fan?
No. Fuck no.
Laker?
Man, I tried. I'm definitely still cheering for Luka, and I want him to do well. And I've tried the playoffs. I couldn't watch any regular season. I tried to start watching again in the playoffs. It's just not the same.
That's exactly how I feel, man.
It's not.
I can't just be a fan of the Lakers. I hate. You don't want the Lakers to do well, but
I hate the Lakers too. I should say. I can't stand the Lakers.
But Luka, I love him so much that I will begrudgingly root for the Lakers to win all their games because that would make Luka's life better. So that's what I want.
I think that's where we all come down on it. Because for me, I don't. It's not even like that. I hate LeBron, but I don't like rooting for a LeBron team. That's a harder thing for me than the Lakers. Because I just never viewed myself as like a guy who I was not like a big Jordan guy.
You didn't like to root for him against the ultra stacked Warriors when they added Durant?
When they added Durant, I did.
Okay.
And that was really fun. The fact, especially, that they came back. But I don't know. I just never was like a guy who growing up was a fan of the best team. I know it sounds weird because I was a Cowboy fan, but they sucked after the time I was 10.
Well, plus you lived in your backyard. So
yeah,
you're allowed to be.
Yeah, exactly. But I was never I don't know. It just feels weird to root for LeBron to me. And he doesn't feel like Luka's him at all. They're very different. They carry themselves very different. But it will make it worse for Nico the more success Luka has.
The other thing I remember about being here is I believe I changed your toilet paper was hanging
that was
the wrong way.
Right. That did happen too, yes.
And I told these guys that I changed it, and they said I'm weird.
Which I didn't even notice, honestly. It was just a thing that it was random. It wasn't an issue, but it is kind of weird to change somebody's toilet paper now that you said it.
It was hanging with the back towards the wall, and I just think it needs to hang outward. And I just thought I was doing you a favor. And then I got emails saying they probably did that on purpose because cats will be able to just pull the toilet paper down. And I knew your cat was nuts, so I figured, okay, that's probably why they did that. And now they have toilet paper all over their house. But that was yesterday. I'm not there anymore. I won't worry about it. I'll never be back. And now here I am a year later, our annual trek to Josh Ewan's.
Right. Yeah. Actually, so April 17th was my birthday. And you did a birthday thing for me because Blake had contacted me. I booked this like months ago. It was like 9 months ago. I was like, I want to do it again because the first one didn't go like I wanted it to. So I was like, my actual birthday. Blake contacted me, said that there's going to be like this golf tournament that y'all got an invite to, and just can I delay it a week? And I was like, that's fine. It's no big deal. I got free time, so why not? I'll do it. I said I'll do it to help I'm just trying to help your show.
Yeah.
So
it's your birthday month anyway.
And I agreed. But I thought it would have been funny if you said that I abdicated my birthday for your show. I just thought the abdicated part would have been funny. But then when you did the thing, you just said, yeah, Blake's friend said that it was his birthday, and just give him a shout out. It was just the way you did it was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny.
Classic Dan.
It was because you said it's Josh Ewan's birthday, and then crickets, and Jake's like, who? It was it was good.
So you said last year it didn't go the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, well, it was.
Was it his fault?
No, it was. It was more cat related actually. Right when the show started, the cat scratched my hand.
Ooh.
So I was in there putting a Band-Aid on.
I vaguely remember
that. And then I heard
that.
the theme. Basically, he's playing as I'm like, this cat just like scratched my hand and the theme's starting in there. I'm like, this is great. I just got all this set up and I'm in here bandaging a wound when the show's starting.
Cat's out here harassing
But it
Dan.
threw me off. I had stuff written down that I wanted to do and I forgot to bring my notes over and I basically just didn't do any of it. I had a good joke about Reggie Miller doing the broadcast with Ant-Man's cock in his mouth. And how does he do it, like running up and down the court? I asked,
there you go.
Because this guy was on him so bad. He's probably still the same way.
Well, you got the notepad now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me just go through it because I did write this down. So
are these this year's notes or these are from last year still?
It's a kind of a recreation because I threw them out and then I realized I probably need to write
There's some good
down
stuff
again.
in there. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a joke. I realized I was writing jokes, actual jokes. They're kind of somewhat artisanal because they're like targeted ads, how they're very specific.
Yeah, okay, a micro joke.
Yeah, I realized that I was writing jokes very specific to this group right here.
Now you realize also this group right here is not a good group to be telling jokes to.
Oh, I'm definitely aware that definitely could not go over.
The outward laughter,
right? Yeah.
Just even if I think something's hilarious,
Right,
might
yeah,
not
yeah. No, I get
be
that.
emitted.
Yeah, I
that's
know
why
it's-
we have sound bites.
Yeah, I'm definitely aware that it's not going to be a welcoming,
Like
warm
this.
embrace. Let me go from the start then. That's it. Last time you were here, I think Dan, your power was out. I believe Blake, you definitely had a section of your fence down. Jake, definitely struggling with your own thing too. I'm sure I'm not what it was. We didn't know at the time, but it sounded like it was pretty serious. And I don't know if you overheard this, but Jake was we started talking about the Netflix series Tires, which had just come out.
Uh-huh.
And I asked Jake, is it funny? And he said, yeah, I watched it twice, but I'm a super fan. And I thought about it. It's like after having y'all out at my house now twice, I think I'm prepared to say that is probably the gayest thing I've ever heard. You can't go around calling yourself a super fan for another man. That's just not good.
I thought he was going a different way. I
Yeah.
thought he was saying after having you guys out here,
He's
now I'm a super fan.
No, no, because I'm not gay.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
never say that.
No,
I
am a big fan. I'm a supporter.
I should never say that again. That's a
what I
weird
thought.
thing to
That's
say,
what it
but I'm a super fan.
Super fan of Shane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also wasn't really a joke, but
No, that's not that was totally something I just wanted to. Yeah, that's not
Okay.
it. Sorry, that's not a joke.
Okay. Mark the joke parts now. On the sheet, put jokes.
No, it's a standalone. The joke is a standalone joke.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
something.
Okay.
I would actually, if I could, like to start with an apology and a point of clarification.
Okay.
Last time y'all were here, I gave Dan a gift. It was an artwork of like a children's book.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff on it, and I just want to point out what I was trying to emphasize was there was a point when Jake was getting ready for court and Dan was playing with his kid, and he thought to himself, family. And so there's a Fast and the Furious reference in the artwork. I just want to make sure that y'all understand that was what I was trying to emphasize in that particular piece of art.
Do you remember what this was?
The Fast and the Fury, right?
Right, and I was also wanting to say that I do categorically denounce Nazis and Nazi ideology. Anyone who knows my character
You don't have
knows.
a job to get canceled from.
I just want to make sure it's clear.
Bingo.
I'm not in any way supporting Nazis or Nazi ideology. That's always been.
But you were supporting comedy.
Kind of trying to. I don't know.
Wasn't it Fast 9? N-E-I-N?
The Fast and the Fury, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And it was
Fast 9.
It was
N-E-I-N.
The Rock and Dom, and then there was the Back to the Future car, and then there was Hitler. But that was
He's a historical figure.
right, and that was I'm not endorsing. I just want to say now more than ever,
Stalin.
Nazis are bad.
Stalin bad too.
Well, yeah, Stalin was not the point.
You didn't have to have the oven in the background.
What's next?
Oh, Jesus, I didn't even get what you were just saying. Okay. Also, the other gift I gave to Jake, it was, Cameron had a drink. Cameron, I think is who it was?
Yeah.
Cameron or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
the sex drink.
The sex drink.
Sex drink, yeah. Which,
It works.
oh, you know now? Because the thing is, you referenced it multiple times in the year since. And I feel like when you referenced it, you were always saying like, man, I don't know if I've got it in me anymore. And I kind of feel like that drink might have been what led you to accept your own mortality and maybe eventually get sober.
I was saved by Cameron. I thought that stuff might kill me, but instead all it did is just make me rock hard.
Damn, it really works. I'm
It
glad
really
you
works.
built up the health to do it. That's great. I think it was what pushed you to get sober, though.
He's healthy enough for sex again.
That's right.
On the fake turf.
And I gave Blake some coffee that apparently wasn't very good. Sorry about that. The coffee was the Throne coffee that
I wasn't mad at you. I was mad at Throne.
that was too bad. I don't have any other gifts this time though.
That's okay. Presence is a present.
No, you bought us lunch. Thank you.
So, do y'all actually want to hear a joke? Should I do the joke?
I think we've made it this far.
I've been waiting on it.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
All right. So,
Have the sound ready.
my wife and I, we built this house, right? I've told y'all about that. When I was building this house, actually, this is what kind of made me start listening to the show. That's why I tied together. It was Hog Court. And it was what first got me really just invested in listening all the time. It was just the weirdest thing. And y'all brought in a judge, right?
To determine whether the hog was worthy of $1,000, right?
Right. If he had received too much help. Yeah.
But the thing is, that's when I started listening to their show in the morning, and for whatever reason, the app and they had the picture of them. I had their faces and their voices backwards for years, not knowing that it was the Epstein thing that finally made me realize that I had their voices backwards in my head. It's just a random thing. You can cut that out if you want. That's not the joke.
I don't understand what's happening. But
I was just saying the point was when we built this house, I was listening to hardcore. It's what made me start listening. So my wife brought.
We were his gateway to the Musers.
Got it. That's
sort of.
Yeah.
Unique story.
We're just listening all the time. I started listening to y'all all the time, basically.
Right.
That was the point. Because it was available on the app. It's great. So my wife brought her mother-in-law here during construction to look at the place. And she was walking through the front of the house, and there was a bunch of boards with nails. And she said to her mom, "Hey, Mom, be careful over there, okay?" And she said, her mom turned to her and said, "Growing up in my village, when I went to the river for water, I had to look out for tigers. You don't have to tell me to be careful." And I thought a couple things, really. Number one, that's pretty badass for your mother-in-law to say. It's kind of scary. It's also way too aggressive a response to, "Hey, Mom, be careful." You know, like.
This is true, yeah. You don't need to unpack it all right there.
But the point of the thing is, though, like, I can do her. When I did her voice, I didn't put on any kind of like inflection or anything, right? Like there was no Liam Neeson twist on, no Hoya. Like I can convey her words without doing anything, and they still have power, right? But here's the thing y'all might not know is when my wife does her voice, do you think she puts any kind of inflection on it? Because she does a perfect impression of her mom every time. They all do. And by they, I mean her 2 brothers and her sister. They all do this spot-on impression of their mom.
What is her origin?
They are Hmong, which you could just say they're Asian. They're Hmong.
Okay.
And so yeah, she has. That's why.
So you wondering why you can't do it?
Well, that's the thing is like my point about like every guy does an impression of their wife, like every husband. You know, like get the trash out. That's pretty common, right? Uh-huh. How big of a stretch is it to do an impression of your wife doing an impression of her mom? Like, is it too much or?
I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right. Are you greasing the skids for that, or what are we doing?
Well, I was just kind of wanting to get what y'all thought as far as like, should that be allowed or?
Of course it's allowed. Of course it's allowed. I mean, you're being supported by her daughter. You got a lot going for you. Just play fast and loose. Do it now.
Well, I don't understand why they kicked me out of Easter dinner then, because I thought it was going over great.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. What?
I liked it.
I like it too.
I have a really dirty one.
Oh, there's more.
If you actually want to hear a really dirty one, the punchline kind of, I don't know. It's up to y'all. I don't want to keep going if you think it's dumb.
I feel like we wouldn't be responsible broadcasters if we now signed off and didn't let anybody hear your really dirty joke. Like if you stuck with this long, I think you want to hear. I think those listening want to hear the dirty one.
All right, let's do the dirty one then, real quick. Like I'll make it quick. So I went to school in the Bay Area briefly, and when I was there, I was dating this girl who lived in San Francisco, and she lived on the 12th story of this old building, and she had this little rent-controlled apartment, and it was kind of a weird setup where she had this small unit, and then the rest of the half of the rest was a war heroes, a retirement home for war heroes, and the other half was this pilot program they had for gifted orphans, special gifted orphans program. And so I was over there one night, and we were kind of just like starting to mess around a little bit. Things were getting a little hot, and we was going in one direction, obviously what was going to happen, and then we started smelling smoke, and it was just like, what the hell is that? And we looked at the door, and there was smoke coming in under the door, and at that point, we're getting kind of scared, 12th floor. We go out there, the freaking kids are starting to come out, the freaking old people are coming out, it's starting to fill up with smoke. We're like, we go to the stairs, and they're completely engulfed in flame on this side. Can't get out that way. You go to the other stairs. They're starting to kind of fill up with flame too. So we got to get some freaking fire extinguishers. Turns out all the fire extinguishers had been taken. They were gone. So at that point, what are we going to do? I'm seeing panicked kids, the freaking old people, and I knew that there was only one thing that was going to work as far as getting this fire out and getting everyone out of there. So I told the freaking, like, all right, war heroes, cover up those kids' faces. They don't need to see what's about to happen. And so luckily, like I said, the lady and I had kind of been going that direction anyway. She was kind of worked up a little bit. And she just happened to have the ability that y'all have referenced on the show a few times. She was a squirter. Mm-hmm. And so I'll spare you the details of what actually happened, but every child, man, woman, and child made it out of there that day unscathed. But they never did get that stairwell smelling quite right again. It was...
Jesus. Mic drop.
Josh Ewan, thank you for having us at your house. Opening for Kevin Farley, perhaps, tomorrow and Friday night. It will be Josh Ewan. Thanks, dude.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
They give opinions with confidence, just like three friends, and sit in, sometimes to sit out. At a house way across town, in Mesquite, Grapevine, or Flower Mound. They said we're gonna do our show any way we want. Cumulus tried to cancel them for about a month. Those were some lonely days on such time-spent airwaves, and I think it's gonna be a little weird to tune into my favorite station for 14 years, to not hear voices I always hear say no, 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 I don't want audio. Dumb Zone boys blending sports, comedy, and news. They took their time and paid their dues. Three cool dudes to take a leap and leave the place where you know their voice, not their face. Oh no, well maybe don't let him eat the napkin. Dumb Zone boys somehow pulled it off. What a life to just get paid to talk. It's more than just a podcast, it's a comedy show. Everyone was wondering what would happen if the Hang Zone didn't show. Well, I guess we'll never know. They have guests like local stars, Sarah Heppola, Denny Bayless, who now just owns a bar. Some 690 Satans who wanna be cool, like that Deep Bellum actor, what a tool. No, 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 so what are you walking out? Dumb Zone boys are now so independent, they can say whatever, don't be offended. If you have a bit, they are cool, just send it. Dan loves salmon and broccoli. Jake drinks water jugs and vapes properly. Blake hits bombs on the course. Kemp spins in Pro Bowl divorce. Heart attack man and lovely book reports and business reports. Dad has both jeans and business shorts. He's back in guy, but so am I. It makes sense if you're in a bind. Don't forget about the roast twins. They will demolish your spirit in 2 minutes. From the Den Hyatt Talk Dance Garage, filled with bits and a fan base that also loved Entourage. So subscribe today, it's only $6.90. 2.5 hours of quality content and comedic timing. The Dumb Zone Podcast.